Much Moxie presents Mucho Art, wearable art that represents the culture. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can feel it when you step in the room. That vibe, that soul, that timeless bloom. From the wall to your wall, we speak from the heart. Canvas or cotton, this is wearable art. It's more than a look, it's a mood, it's a stance. Every stitch got rhythm, every color gon' dance. Mucho art, we paint what we wear. Bold like a trumpet, soft like a prayer. True art, where your story, where your pride.
Come on up in here, hit that like button.
Soft like a prayer. True art, where your story, where your pride.
Come on up in here, hit that like button, tap it.
True art, yeah, on your chest or
About to get started. I'm just sending out some invites real quick.
soul of it all. Too much Moxie. True art, where the canvas meets the heart. T-shirts talk like verses and rhyme. Hoodies hug you like jazz and time. We don't follow trends, we set that pace. With every print, we claim our space. Art that moves, art that breathes. Truth on a thread, open the seams. It's street, it's soul, it's poetry and part. It's fashion made by heart for heart. True art, ooh yeah. Wear your story, wear your pride. Let the culture be your guide.
Mucho art.
On your chest or on your wall, it's the spirit, the soul of it all. Too much Moxie. Mucho art, where the canvas meets the heart. Say it loud, say it strong. This is where our roots belong.
Come on up in here, hit that like button. We about to get started.
Giving you soul.
We about to we gotta stay on this topic for a while, man. We gotta talk about the 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀, the Greek letter organization, and are they good for us? All right, you can't even spell his name right, brother. But okay. Okay. What that mean about me and my lineage, though? That don't mean nothing, brother. You know, I don't follow. You know, I'm not a follower of 𝗔𝗯𝗫𝘂𝘁𝗂𝘁𝗵𝘁, bro. I mean, shout out to that brother. I mean, he does phenomenal things. You know, we tap into his show, but I'm for my lineage.
Represents the culture.
Tariq is Tariq. Shout out to that brother, man. He's a good brother to me. If you think he's, you know, something else,
You can feel it when you step in the room.
that's up to you, brother. You have a right to believe and think what you want to believe,
from
right?
the heart, canvas or cotton, this is wearable art. It's more than a look, it's a mood. It's
All right. So that's how I feel about that. You know, we got all these, you know, haters just come in the room, man. What's up with the haters, man? You know, find somebody that, find something else to do. That's all I'm going to tell you. Find something else to do. You know, it takes too much energy to hate. You know that, right? It takes a lot of energy to hate. Like, it takes more energy to hate than it does to congratulate. You know, just shout out to people who are winning. Why not have that mentality? Instead of have the mentality to, you know, talk down on people who are winning, Why not just be like, man, that brother's doing a fantastic job. You know, I may not understand what he's doing. I may not like what he's doing, but the brother's doing a fantastic job. You know, what's wrong with getting your people on code? Let's talk about that. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Every other race does it. Why are foundational Black Americans not allowed to get on code? Why are we not allowed to enjoy and celebrate our lineage? Why is that? That's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Don't you think that's weird that we're the only ones not allowed to gatekeep our stuff? Don't you think that's weird, brother? Don't you think that's weird that when people come over here, they practice anti-Black hatred? Like we're the problem. They come to America. They chose to come here. And then they want to point us out and say, we're the problem with America. Think about that. Yeah, I got a new hat, man. Yeah, I mean, but I had this hat for a while, brother. So that means you haven't been locked in, you know. But I miss my old hat, man. You know, it's like sometimes you got stuff that it's like a perfect fit. It's like your good luck charm. It's like your mojo. You've had it for so long, you don't want to get rid of it. You know, you don't care how bad it looks. We are tired of entertaining agents. Our ancestors are not playing those games anymore. Okay, then how about this? Since if you say your ancestors, right? How about you just change the station? You know, how about that? How about that? Because what I'm like this. What's your message? If 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐿𝐿 is an agent, right? He's an agent, right? What's your message? What are you saying that the ancestors are saying? What are you saying? Because I'm talking about my lineage. But since you say 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐿𝐿's agent and whatever, what's your message, brother? What's your message? What's your message? Because I'm about my lineage. I'm about my people. You know? Tariq could fall off tomorrow and I'm still going to be standing on FBA business. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be 100% 10 toes down for my lineage. America is our oppression. Oh, hold on, man. I'll entertain this, brother. Come on up here, man. Just come on up here and talk your stuff, man. Let's talk man to man. Just come on up here, brother. Let's just talk about it. I'll sidebar this before I jump into what I really came to talk about, because people always try to change my topics, but I get interested in little things, man. So just come on up here, brother. It's Saturday. Don't act like you got some work to do or you busy. You know, talk to me, brother. What's up?
What you need to understand about that?
You help me understand, brother. First of all, where are you from? Where are you from? Who is your ancestor?
My ancestors are African American.
Oh, okay. What is an African American? What is that?
What do you mean? What is an African American?
What's an African American?
African American. You want the definition of it?
Yeah, give me the definition of African American.
Okay, the African American is a person who has ancestors that came to America. That came to America through the Atlantic slave trade.
So you're from the transatlantic slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your family from?
New York.
I don't believe you, brother. I think you got some Caribbean or something. You sound like you. I don't know, but you don't sound like a FBA. You know, I know New York, but you know.
I'm not in a cult. I'm not an FBA.
Okay.
I'm an African American.
You're African American. You don't. Okay. You're right. You probably are an African American. Your family's from Africa, and they migrated here, right? And you happen to have a citizenship that says you're American. So
I have a citizenship. I have a citizenship. I was born in America.
Yeah, you have a citizenship.
Born in America. My father, my mother was born in America.
If you're born in America, you have. Okay, where's your mom? Where's your mom from? Where's your mom from?
America.
Where's your mom from?
America, Brooklyn, New York.
That's tether talk, brother. You're not 100%. You don't
want to talk about the real issues. That's what the problem.
No, that's the real issue, brother. The real issue is you keep saying I'm from New York, but you act like you are.
So tell me where I'm from.
Why we delineate, brother?
So tell me where I'm from. Tell me where I'm from. Tell me where I'm from. Because I can prove. I can
You're from
prove. I
Africa.
could prove. I could
You're
prove
from
that.
Africa. You're from Africa. You can't prove nothing, bro. You're from Africa.
I'm from Africa, but I was born in Interfaith Hospital.
Exactly. You're from Africa, but you were born in America. That's what makes you an African American. So I agree with you, brother.
What you?
You
That
are
doesn't make
African
sense.
American. Yeah,
How
you're
does
an
that make sense?
African. You're an African that was born in America, right? You're an
Same as
African.
you. Same
You're
as
an
you.
African that
You're
was
an
born.
African that was
No,
born in
I'm not.
America.
I'm not,
Yes,
brother.
you are.
I'm not. I'm not
Guess what?
African,
There's no
brother.
such thing. There's no such
I'm
thing
not
as a
African,
black.
brother.
There's no such
I'm
thing as
not African,
you're
brother.
black. You're black in all
I'm a
your
black
lineage.
American. I was a black American before they tried to label me African.
On your DNA,
My
what does it
family
say?
was colored.
Your
My family
family is African.
on their birth certificate. It
I
says
thought we was gonna
colored.
have a real
It says
conversation.
Negro, and it says
I thought you
black.
wanted to understand why. I thought you wanted to understand why I said America's our oppressor.
You said, well, first of all, no, I wasn't asking. I don't care, man. America, of course, America, the oppressor, the system of injustice. Yeah, in America, the government.
I thought that's what you want. I thought that's what you. So that's why I said. That's why I said what I said.
But here's the thing, brother. You're a tether, and you're a cosplayer. That's what you are.
I
You're a
mean,
tether
I would
and a
say the
cosplayer.
same thing about FBAs because I tether off American culture.
You're a tether. No,
In
we built.
America, they tell you to
We
hate.
are the
In America, hold on.
embodiment of American culture,
Let me
sir.
speak. In American culture, right? In American culture, they tell you to hate black people, right? What do y'all preach all the time? Y'all hate black people.
We don't hate black people.
Yes, I do.
I'm black. I can't hate myself, brother. I can't hate myself.
You hate black people.
I don't.
You don't hate black Caribbeans. You don't hate
No.
black Africans.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. The whole
And to me, they're not black. They're Caribbean or they're African. You can't say black. You can't say. Hold on, listen to yourself, brother. You said
It's not making sense.
black Africans.
You're not
You
making
hate
sense.
black
You're not making
Caribbean.
sense right now.
They're
You don't have black
either
Caribbean people.
they're
You don't have
African
black Caribbean
or
people.
they're
You don't have
Caribbean.
you don't have
That's what they are,
Caucasian.
brother.
You don't have Caucasian Caribbean people.
They're-
Did you
they're- I mean,
did
I
you
mean,
ever say
if, I
Caucasian?
mean,
Did you ever
if
say
that's the
Caucasian?
case,
Did you ever
Elon
say
Musk.
Caucasian Caribbean person?
Okay. I'll rock with that. I mean, they're not originally from there, but they're transplanted there. But go ahead if you want to say
So
that.
with that being said, you have
But
Asian people.
black
Hold
black
on,
is an American term, sir.
hold on. No, it's not.
Why are we? Yes, it
No,
is.
it's
It's an
not.
American
No, it's
term.
not. No, it's
American
not.
term.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
No, it's not.
Okay, what language uses the name? What language uses the word black in it? So, what language in Africa where they use black if they're not speaking English that comes from America?
They don't speak
That's
English. Right?
American.
Okay, so in Europe, they wasn't using the word black before America.
They weren't necessarily using the word black. No, not
Come on, bro.
No, they were calling people Negroes,
Oh
brother.
my God, what does Negro translate to?
Doesn't matter. Black is an American term. Black is something we made popular.
In England,
Black
let's be
is
honest.
something we
Let's
made
be honest.
popular.
Let's be honest. In England, they wasn't saying Negro.
Brother, I'm not in England.
It wasn't.
I'm in
So you
America.
just said Europe. I just said in Europe.
I'm in
I said the whole
America,
concept.
and we made
Hold on,
black
hold on,
the
hold on,
word
hold on.
black.
Hold
Who
on,
made
brother,
it popular
brother,
to be called black?
brother,
Foundational Black Americans.
brother.
No other group.
I said in the whole Europe was Europe using the word black before America, and you said no, and I said yes because in England they do not speak Spanish, so they would not call black people Negros. That was a Spanish term. So what are you saying? So you lost that points right there.
Hold on, brother. That's stupid because we were called Negroes here. The British sure called people.
British
Negroes.
wasn't calling us Negro.
They sure was, brother. They sure was. In the colonial days, they sure was, brother.
So they was. So you telling me?
They sure was. The term black that people are talking about today is something that foundational Black Americans made popular.
When did they make it public?
Black.
And what does black mean? What does black in
That's what I'm
America
saying, man.
mean?
You tethers are weird.
What
brother.
does black? That's all you can say.
New York tether.
Tether.
New York
There you go
tethers
tethering.
are weird.
There you go
They're
and
just straight up
tethering off
weird.
of American culture again. You're the original tether. FBA is the original tether. Because in my eyes, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think all FBAs are African Americans who want to be YT. Like I honestly think somewhere I honestly think somewhere in your
How
heart
can
you
we?
think you
How
want
can
to
we?
be
How
a
can we
white
want to do something when
man.
we're fighting against a system
You
and we're
want
fighting to
fighting against
remove from
what? What
everybody
fight did
else?
you ever think?
So
I
the
don't see y'all ever
moment
talking
we
about no
try to
injustice that
say
black people
that
ever
we are
face.
unique
Y'all
and
don't
we
talk
come
about
from a
no.
lineage
Y'all don't
and we're
talk
not a
about.
generic
You don't
African
talk about.
and we have our
You
own
don't
culture,
talk about
you
no.
have a
You
problem with
don't
that
talk
because you
about
can't latch
no.
on to it,
You
sir.
don't
You
talk.
come from a
You don't
failed
talk about no injustice
and
that
you
black people
can't
face.
latch on to
Where's the
something
where's
that
the
we
FBA?
already made
Where's the
great.
FBA's lining up to defend the black American? I'll wait and find out. I'll wait. Y'all don't do nothing for the culture.
What are
What
you
do y'all
talking
do?
about?
What do y'all do?
What are
What
you
do y'all do?
talking about?
Besides y'all being a cult, right? A cult.
What
Besides
are
y'all
you
being
talking about, brother?
a group of individuals within a
What
nation,
are you
right?
talking
Within
about,
the
brother?
African American
What are
nation,
you
right?
talking about,
First thing
brother?
first,
What are you talking about, brother?
if you
Hold
stop
on.
talking and listen,
What are you
then you'll
talking
understand
about,
what I'm
brother?
saying.
You're babbling. What are you
Now,
talking about?
now it's
Answer the
what are you
question.
talking about, my
What are
brother?
you talking
What are you
about?
talking about, my brother? What are you talking about? Because you don't want me to get what I'm saying out. That's what it is.
Brother, you're not
That's what it
saying
is.
enough.
If
You're
you
not
let me
saying
talk,
enough.
you'll
You're
understand.
a weirdo.
If you let me talk,
You're an
now it's all the
incel. You're
insults.
an
Now it's all
incel.
the
You're
insults.
an incel and you're a weirdo,
Now
brother.
it's
I
all the
can hear it.
insults. Bro.
You
Okay,
ain't got
cool.
no game. There's no
I'll
don't
be
nobody's
I'll
really
to
rocking with you.
you, brother,
Nobody's really
to you.
rocking
That's
with
a
you. You're an
compliment. You know the reason
incel.
why that's a compliment to someone who downplays their blackness and someone who hates themselves. That's
I
a
don't hate
compliment.
myself, brother.
Yes, you do.
That's
Yes,
how
you do,
weird
bro.
you
Yes, you
sound,
do.
brother.
Any minute
That's
you
how
want to cut out your
weird you
ancestors,
sound.
any minute you want to cut out your ancestors
That's
and
how
their
weird
homeland and everything
you
like that,
sound,
and then you want
brother.
to say, "Oh yeah, black
That's
doesn't
how
mean that you're
weird you
from
sound.
Africa and everything like that." And the third, bro,
That's
you're a
how
weirdo.
weird you
You're a
sound, brother.
whole
You're a
life
weirdo.
weirdo, bro. You're a weirdo. You're a
Brother, you
weirdo.
can't use my word against brother.
You
You're
are
the
a
real
weirdo,
weirdo.
Hey,
bro. You're a
yes.
lemon.
Hey,
You're
listen,
a
listen.
cornball.
I'm from Ethiopia. I'm from Africa, East Africa last year. And one thing American black people understand is if we go out from this country, you're gonna be slave again. You're gonna be slave again.
Say that one more
Because
time. Hold on.
the first the
Hold on. What
first
did you
like
say?
the
What did you
first
say? If
the first
black people leave America, what's gonna happen?
no, if we African American,
Oh,
African, black
African
African
Americans. Yeah.
leave this country, the
Mm-hmm.
next term will be the American, black American is gonna be slave again, or throw them on the on the seas. That's the last chance you have. You know, it's
I'm not
about blood.
understanding.
It's about blood. It's about blood. Black is black, white is white. You have to defend your
Brother,
blood.
you're Ethiopian, brother. You're not black.
No, 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 no. I'm no, 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 no. I'm a black. I'm a black. We identify as a
Oh,
black
you're a black what? You're a
He's a
black
black
what?
Ethiopian,
Ethiopian.
You're Ethiopian, brother. You're not black.
bro. You're not
Ethiopia is
making no
black.
sense, bro. For you
We
seem
are
like you guys.
not
You
colonized.
seem like what you're
We
trying
are
to do.
not colonized. Not colonized. Not colonized.
Okay, cam up, brother. Let's see if you're black. Cam up,
You know,
cam up.
I have only 35. I have only
Oh,
35
wait, hold on. Why does he have to come
followers.
up? You never
I'm
seen
new
how an
for TikTok. I'm new for
Ethiopian looks,
TikTok.
bro?
Because Ethiopia, I mean, where do y'all get off calling yourself black all of a sudden, brother? Where do you get off calling yourself black all of a sudden, brother?
Because
My question to
we are
you is,
black.
who
We
are
are
you, the black
Africans.
police?
We are
You the
Africans, but we are not
That
colonized.
does not mean
hold on,
African, brother.
Fidel. Hold on, Fidel X. Hold
No,
on,
you
Fidel
see,
X.
That
listen,
does not
Hold
mean
on, Fidel
African,
X. Hold
brother.
on,
listen,
hold on.
listen, listen.
Too much.
I
Are you the
mean,
black police? Like who gave you the right to say who's black and who's not? Because to
I,
be honest,
yeah.
in
Brother,
your rhetoric,
you are a tether. That's what I do.
you do
I
not
just
show, you do
I
not
just
prove.
hear
You don't think that
I
black
just
people are from
hear I
Africa.
just
You
hear
don't
like,
think that black
you're not
people are
from the
from
lineage.
Africa and everything.
You're not from the
So who
lineage.
gave you the right? Who gave you the
You're
right
not
to
from the
give
lineage, brother.
anything?
You're
Listen,
not
You
from
listen,
the
think that
listen,
lineage.
black
listen.
people are from
Hey,
America?
mute. Listen.
You're not, yeah. Black people,
Come on, bro.
yeah.
You
Black
can't
Listen.
American,
be
the Black
quiet.
American
You should not.
community. You're
You don't
talking
make
No,
no
about
sense,
let me
bro.
tell you
You make
something.
no
connected
sense.
to a
You
lineage.
make
Yes.
no sense. You make no sense, bro. So only America, the only place that had
Let me
black
tell you
people.
something. Let
You
me tell you
sound
something.
ignorant.
Yeah.
One thing
You sound
Yeah.
ignorant, bro.
about
Yeah.
black Americans.
Yeah. Black is an American word, is an American term. It's something that we made
Listen,
popular
listen.
that
Even
you
who?
guys want to latch on to
Hey,
and use, brother. Let's just keep it a
hey.
buck.
So there's no other black people in the world.
Listen. Every language,
Crazy.
every English language, every
Brother,
English
you're
language speakers.
Ethiopian, and you, brother, you're African or Caribbean. You're most likely Caribbean. That's why you talk the way you talk, brother. You're no different than anybody else that
white.
Black American
And
might
you're white.
vote
You're
for
white. You're
and
white.
get put in office, brother.
You're
you
white
know-
too.
can-
You're
you
white
can-
too.
you can
You're
see
white too.
clearly
You're
that
white
I'm
too.
not white too.
You are white too. You are Oreo. You're what we call in the community an Oreo. You're black on the outside but white in the inside. You understand? You're an FBI agent. All you want to do is create. Hold on. All you want to do is create. This the only reason. Listen. You have yet to talk to me about how America is our oppressor. That's the thing. So the only reason why you brought me up here is just to bring up your
Brother, I stand on business, brother. Reparations.
You don't stand on no. What
reparations?
reparations? What do you?
Don't know
All right.
who our
First thing first, right? First thing first,
Brother,
right?
first
For you
of all,
to even
no,
get
first
reparations, you have to
first,
claim that you're African, you clown.
What?
You have to claim that you have African descent to get a reparations, you clown.
No, I don't.
You know that, right? You know that,
No,
right?
Foundation
So
of
you
Black
have to.
Americans,
You have to. No.
I'm a
For you
Foundation
to
of Black
get,
Americans.
no,
and-
you're not
and my-
understanding.
and my
We
people were
No,
enslaved.
you're not understanding.
Listen.
You
You
have
are
to
at that
understand
time.
that the fact that America took Africans to America. My bad, brother. I'm gonna let you talk right now. And let me just get this out. Let me get this out,
Yeah,
brother. Let me get this out. I got you. I swear. I promise. I'm sorry that I'm talking. I'm long
Even
winded.
they are not. I mean, most of them are. Most of Malcolm X and
This is the tether
Martin.
hour, y'all.
Listen. Most of Ethiopian students, they are in Yale at that time. They are in Harvard at that time. When Malcolm X have a movement, they preparing meetings. I mean, because too many black Americans at that time, they are slaves. They are slaves. They don't know about nothing. You know, they don't know about nothing. At that time, sadly, at that time, Africa also in the colonized. But listen, Ethiopian students
You
have
don't know about Black American culture or Black American history or the real ancestors.
No. Our students, no. Our students support the Black Panther movement. They create Black Panther movement. Beside, listen.
Shout out to the real black. Shout out to the Black Panther movement.
Listen.
Real black
Beside Malcolm X, not only Ethiopians, too many Black Indians, genius Indians. You don't know about his history, so listen. That's why they go far. Malcolm X is not like Ghetto. It's not like Ghetto Star or TikTok Star. That's why he gone far. He catch up with Black students, Black international students. You know,
Black
scholars.
international students. Brother, you're Ethiopian. Hold on, brother, because you came in. I thought you were going to really come with something. I was talking to this brother.
Listen. You don't.
I'll come back to you, brother. But you're not saying nothing. I'll be honest with you, brother. You're not saying anything. Kai, go ahead, brother. Convince me again, brother. I never denied my African ancestry, brother, but I'm not African. Go ahead.
You're not African.
With that being said, you just
listen. You are a slave.
here.
You are a slave. You are not American. You're just slave still.
Brother.
It's nothing. All I gotta say is it's nothing.
If you don't
So
calm down, if y'all tethers don't calm down tonight, y'all are really.
We all are.
y'all
According to
way too
according
early.
to you, we're all tethered. You're tethered too because you're tethering off American culture.
Brother,
With
I
that being
invented
said,
America.
with
My
the-
people invented
you
America.
are tethering off American.
We're gonna make you free. We're gonna make you free soon. We're gonna make you free
You are
soon.
tethering off American culture. American
Yeah.
culture taught you to hate
You are.
yourself. American
We're gonna
culture.
free you soon.
American culture taught you that you should hate people that look like you.
How the fuck are we tethers in our own country? You sound stupid as fuck.
Who's the country?
Wait, hold on.
Black
country?
Americans,
Hold on,
man.
shorty,
Shut your
shorty,
stupid ass mouth up.
shorty.
Especially
This
you,
is not
Fidel,
even your. This is not
calling
even
us
your.
slaves.
First
Listen. He identified himself. a
White
black
people
American, not a
culture.
black
Hey,
African.
listen, y'all, listen.
So
This is
fuck.
what we're not gonna do. You're not gonna just keep babbling when I said listen and shut up. You're not gonna do that, bro. You come off your mic one more time, I'm just gonna drop you. I'm
I
cool,
mean, I
bro.
said what I said
I'm
already.
gonna have a
I really
conversation.
don't.
I'm not like you. I'm
I
not like
wanna
Y'all
you.
very
have a
I don't
disrespectful
conversation.
care. I don't
to
care.
to the
I
host
don't
for
care.
I
one.
wanna have
Y'all
a
I don't
talking
care.
over
Like
conversation.
each
you.
other.
I'm not like you.
I believe y'all think
I'm not
y'all
even
bro.
hear you.
Y'all
I'm not
testing
even
for
hear
white
you. I'm
people.
not like you.
Brother, I
Okay.
don't even I really can't understand what you're saying, truthfully.
Exactly.
Okay.
He needs to worry about what's going on in Ethiopia, that they being enslaved over there and they starving over there and they don't have what they need from the white supremacists instead of worrying about what the fuck we got
As a
going on
black
over there.
woman saying that,
As a black woman
that's
that's been over
intense.
there, I'm gonna tell
You been
you
over there?
that you need to worry
Show us
about what's going on in
pictures.
your
Show us
fucking
Brother, you
pictures.
never
homeland and
left
stop
your
Show us
sitting
pictures.
over
bedroom.
here
Turn on.
acting
You're
like
incest.
y'all above us because
Show
y'all
us.
not.
What city did you
All
go
we
to?
ever done was fucking
What
help
city?
y'all. That's
What
all we
cities
ever
did you go
done.
to?
Y'all come over here with this fake ass attitude, this
What city did?
xenophobic attitude y'all have
What
towards
city
us
did you go
for
to?
absolutely no fucking reason, unwarranted.
Okay.
We don't got fucking terms like akata and jarir for black America for y'all. We don't have terms for
What
y'all
language is
over
that?
here
What
like that.
language is that you just said? What language is that?
Akata?
Who
Really?
says the kata?
Let's stop
It's
playing
one
fucking
tribe.
games, bro.
It's one tribe. It's
Stop.
one tribe.
No, it's not no
It's
fucking
You're a
one
one
black
tribe that
tribe.
says that.
supremacist.
Yes,
A
it
bunch
is.
of y'all
Yes, it
say
is.
these terms
Yes,
for
it
us
is.
over
Yes, it
there.
is. Yes, it is.
See,
One
this
tribe
is
that says that.
Stop the
Nigeria. That's
cap,
what it
nigga.
is.
Cut
You're
it
Stop
out.
it.
Nigeria.
Cut it out.
Now
This is
I
how I
Stop
know
it.
you didn't travel to Africa.
now I see
You're
why
fucking
you're
You're lying.
liar.
Nigerian.
You're lying. You probably don't
I've
even
been
have
to
a
Africa. I've
passport.
been over there.
Show me your
You're
passport. Show
I've
me
been
your
to
Nigerian,
three. I
bro.
don't
passport.
gotta show you
Show me your
shit.
passport. Show me your stamps.
I don't gotta
You're
show you
Nigerian,
anything.
bro.
Don't got it. You
I don't
don't
gotta
You're
show
got
you
it.
Nigerian.
anything.
Don't got it.
What
You're
I don't
lying.
have it. I don't have
Why
it.
you
Why I don't have it?
lying? Why you
I'm
lying?
lying about what?
Why you lying?
You're a
Brother,
xenophobe. You don't know what
brother,
you're
you're
talking
You
about.
ain't
Nigerian,
You
got to
bro.
supposed to be
lie.
worrying
You ain't
about
got
black
to lie.
Americans
You ain't
instead of
got to
fixing your
lie.
fucked
And
up
here's
homelands.
You don't gotta
Maybe
lie.
then you can get the white supremacists off your ass.
You don't have
you're a
to lie.
troll and you're
Yeah.
Nigerian,
You don't have
brother.
to
That's
lie.
all.
You
We
talking
travel
about
all over the place. We see how
you
y'all
talking
really
about
fucking
thing,
living
right?
over there. Y'all live like shit over there. You live
Mm-hmm.
You're
like shit
Nigerian.
over
That's
And
there.
all.
America's so
The ones
clean.
with money
America's
that
so
come over
clean.
here,
West Virginia,
right?
Iowa, South
They don't do
Dakota,
nothing
North
for y'all back
Dakota.
home. Let's
What are you
keep it a
talking
buck.
about?
Let's
What are you
stop
talking
lying.
about? Like, what are you talking
Y'all
about?
coming on this
Y'all
fucking
have ghettos
internet
everywhere.
lying like a motherfucker.
You're
Y'all bunch
lying,
of
brother.
lying ass niggas.
You ain't
You
never
coming over here,
traveled.
y'all get your education
You
in
ain't
our
never
fucking
traveled.
schools,
You ain't never traveled. That's a
our
lie.
historically
That's a lie.
HBUs,
That's a lie.
HBCUs.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie, it's the
That's a lie.
truth. Why are
That's a
you
lie.
lying?
That's a
Okay,
lie.
hold on,
Why are
bro.
you
We gotta
sitting
take
over
we
here
gotta take
lying?
this.
You could look up how much. You could look up how many.
Okay, brother. I'm gonna stay on your mic, brother. Stay on. Don't come off the mic.
No,
I'm gonna have to drop you down, bro. You're not
you could
entertaining.
drop me. I already said what I had to say, bro.
You saying a lot of bullshit.
I
That's what
already
you
said what I
saying.
had
You
to
saying a lot of
say. I
bullshit.
Brother,
already
since
said
You
you
what I
know
had
that
to
already
y'all
say,
come
said,
over
bro.
here. The only
since
reason
you
why you're able to come
already
over here is
said
because of
what you
our
had to
work. It's
say.
because of us.
All
Not because of the
right,
white people. White people don't even fucking want you over here now.
all right. Let's get some
Yeah,
order.
they don't want them over here now. He gonna come up here lying and saying a whole bunch of bullshit. Sir, I've been to Africa, specifically Ethiopia,
Okay.
Eritrea. Okay?
Listen, Cherry, listen.
Yeah, no. You too.
Nobody
You
wants us. Nobody.
Ethiopian.
Yeah.
And you
Hey,
sitting over here calling us slaves.
hey,
You need to worry
hey.
about what's going on right now over there, which is fucked up. Y'all enslaved over there right now by
Listen.
them Arabs. But
You
y'all
you
come
are
over
you
here
are in the
calling
ghetto
us
mind.
names
You
and
are in the
lying.
ghetto mind. You are still in the neighborhood mind.
No,
So
you a
who
fucking
did
idiot.
this? Who did
And you're a
this? Who
slave in
did
your
this?
mind.
Who did
Because you
this?
sitting over
No,
here trying to
no, I'm
talk
not
down to
slave.
black
I'm not slave.
Americans,
My
the only
grandfather's.
fucking black people that help y'all niggas.
No.
The
Listen,
only
no,
ones, historically, that
no.
help
You
you.
missed that. You
Where's
miss
the
you miss
white
this
people
history.
helping you,
You miss
sir?
you miss the truth. You
Where's
miss
the
the
white
truth.
people helping
You
you?
have you
Where's the
are.
white people helping you?
We
Let me
call
know.
you.
Because
We
it's
call
not, they're
you
not over there right now.
house
Stop
slave.
lying.
We call
No,
you
stop
house
lying.
slave. We call
I'm
you
not
house
gonna let
slave.
you lie though. You sitting over here on this man's live. He's very patient with you. He's been very nice to y'all, actually, too nice.
We call you
And y'all
house
sitting over
slave.
here lying,
We
being
call you house
xenophobic and
slave.
saying anything.
We,
Y'all
you are
have
a
no
slave.
facts to back up none of the shit you're saying.
Your grandfather a slave. You are a
My
father a
grandfather
slave.
is the
You are
reason why you
father
funky
slave.
asses is able to
Are
come
y'all
over here and
hearing this
thrive,
brother?
get an
Are y'all
education,
hearing this
nigga.
brother say that?
You,
Y'all
no, no, no,
hearing
no,
this?
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no,
It wasn't because of no white people why you
We
have
know
nothing
you.
over here. You
We
come
know
over
you.
here because of us. If
No,
it
no,
wasn't
no,
for
no, no.
us, you wouldn't be able to come over here, nigga.
No,
It was a
no,
black American that
no,
taught you people
no,
how to
no,
fucking fly
no, no,
and do pilot work.
no,
What the fuck are
no,
you talking about?
no,
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're sitting over here lying. You're jealous of black Americans.
you see,
You're
you're
jealous.
damn, you are
You're
deaf,
jealous of them.
you are damn and
You're
deaf, you don't
jealous.
listen.
You're
You
Can I
don't
ask
jealous
a
and you're
Della
dusty.
question?
And you need to
listen.
worry about what's going on in
Listen,
your busted ass
listen,
country.
Let's
Worry
listen,
about that. Y'all
listen.
kiss white people's ass. Y'all kiss Arab people's ass, and y'all sit over here, y'all come over here with this jealousy and contempt for us. We not the ones that's the enemy, but y'all want to act like we are.
Hold on, Shay.
Worry about your busted ass country,
Get
nigga.
back in the room. Hold on, Shay. Hold on. Just hold on. Thank you.
My fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all good. You know, standing on business. It's all good. We know this brother's a tether. Okay, this is tether talk. You hear what he's saying?
I just want to appreciate him coming up here. He's very rude and disrespectful, calling you a slave.
Yes, no, your mind is still slave.
Fuck out of here. No,
Just
you a slave, nigga. Worry about what's going on in Ethiopia. Why you ain't over there helping your people?
Personally, you.
Personally,
we come to work here. We come to work here.
Always over here
we come to work here.
You're worried about your people back home.
We come to work here, not smoke weed.
You're a fucking coward. That's what you are.
Did y'all hear what he said?
We come to smoke. We come here to work.
Coward.
Case closed. Why you hate? Why
Yeah,
you
I
hate?
heard what he said.
This is why we delineate.
I want to say something to him.
Go ahead.
Fidel, do you mind if I say a couple of things to you really quickly? Because when you came up here, you automatically started some sort of stereotype.
First, hear my name. Say my name again correctly.
I'm not going to say your name again. I'm not going to say your name
correctly. So you're not saying my name.
You can tell me how to pronounce it, but I'm not going to say it again.
Fidel.
Yeah, I just want to say
Fidel.
I'm from Africa and he does not represent
Your name
us.
is Tether.
I just want to come in and say that. I'm from Africa and he does not represent us.
Fidel, why do you think that you can speak for Americans if you're not from America? Let's start there.
Go ahead, Fidel. Answer.
Why do you think that you can speak for Americans if you are not from America?
No, I'm not speaking for Americans. I'm just speaking for
So
black.
why did you mention smoking weed?
No, I'm just mentioning. I mean, she said too many wrong words. She said motherfucker and
So
everything.
basically, you're just saying anything because you're upset, right?
Yeah.
You don't. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. But I'm just come here to talk about black, not Americans. But he said black. He identifies black Americans. There is no black Americans. There is no black Africans. There is no black Indian. There is no black native.
How you gonna talk about black people
Black
in
is
America?
black.
You just came
Black
here.
is black.
You barely
He
know
means that.
anything about
He
black
said
people in America.
he labeled his as a black American. A different thing. A black American, black African. Black is black. I think. So that's why I come here. Not
Black is not African, brother.
Hold on, black is not black. First of all, you're not black in your homeland. Don't be black your mind. Shay, 𝗔𝗯cie, you on point. I'm so glad you're hearing this from him, and he do represent the African continent. He do represent Europe. Let me explain.
He does not represent the African continent because not all Africans believe that.
Can I explain before you cut me off? Yes or no?
Hey, my fault.
Thank you. Because when you come to this country, you have a disdain when it comes to FBA. You don't have the same energy when it comes to the YT people. You do not have that because people like that would not exist, right? He's the only one that think like that. Now we got a guy just like that who running for governor. He said, when I become governor, I'm going to eliminate Black History Month. Again, he do represent the Africans because the fact is, where are you to attack the African people that believe and practice anti-FBA? They on TikTok every day dogging us out. Every single day. I don't see you there. They call it pretendians. I don't see you there. They call it baby mothers and all. I don't see you there. So again, as a whole, you might have one or two that don't think like that. But as a whole, they all think like that. They ain't shit in their homeland. That's why they come here. Remember, they got a castle, a mansion, a private jet in Africa, but they come to America to be a peasant, to drive for Uber. And I land my plane with that.
Well, I wanna add something.
Also, on the one thing, let me tell you one thing. I mean, she said, think about Africa, but it's above on me. It's a CIA thing. It's a FBI thing. You don't know about Africa. Don't think about it.
But now he's giving you the same energy that you came up with.
Don't think about neighborhood things.
You got a lot of people
There
who
is
are
a
from
diamond. There is
Ethiopia.
oil.
You got a lot of people from that
There is
area
oil. There
of
is
Africa
diamond.
who
There
don't
is
even
gambling
believe that
with
they're African themselves.
There is gambling with children's blood. Right
Wait a
now we
minute,
have
what?
phones.
What?
They are gambling with children's blood.
Who?
The white billionaires and Africa leaders.
Oh, you're saying the billionaires. Okay, so you're talking about the elite, but that's not this topic.
The CIAs and the FBI saying that's why. That's
The
so.
same thing is happening in
please.
Africa.
But hold on, let's blame the CIA. But how come you're coming here begging us for money? if the CIA and the FBI
Well,
come
well,
Because
to,
they
African
work with
people,
the
African
CIA.
people don't
Yes,
why
come
the
do
to the
you
U.S.
come?
to
African
beg for
government
money.
works with the
That's not how
Why
that
CIA,
do
so
you
works.
I don't
come to
think you want to go
America?
there.
Why do
I
you
don't
come
think you
to?
want to go there, Fidel,
But hold
because
on,
they
why
work with them.
they do? But
They're
why
doing
you
the
come to
same
America?
thing.
If America's so bad, why you come in begging for money? Stay your
Hey,
monkey ass in your homeland.
But
Focus on that.
but
listen.
what about
We are
Ibrahim
the
Toye?
children.
What about
I
that?
like him. I like him. I do like him. But hold on. He's not begging
Listen,
for money. Hold on.
listen,
Listen. I'm glad you said
listen,
that. He's
No
not
listen,
one,
begging for
no
money. Hold
one in
on, y'all.
Africa really
listen.
begs for
Hold
It's
on.
money.
above us.
Like
But
the
look, we're trying to
government.
underlie. But look, we're trying to underlie from other African people. So don't try to hang your hat on that, because as a group, as a whole, you're not rocking out with him. Because if that was the
Listen,
case,
listen.
if that was the
Yeah,
case,
this is a.
Jules Malema would have won by a landslide. If that was
Yeah,
the case, as a
listen,
whole, you don't stop everybody. You don't
listen.
believe in black unity at all. You don't believe in undermining each other, because you ain't shit then, you ain't shit today. So don't hang your hat on one brother that's doing the right thing, one brother that's a leader in Africa, one brother.
Yes, thank you.
All of you, hold on, all of you should have that mindset, but you don't. You're too busy kissing white people ass, Arab ass. Now you kiss Chinese people
Look,
ass. You know
I
what?
just came up here to say one thing. I'm so sorry, right? It just went over y'all head what he just said, right? He literally just said it. He literally just called the girl, "Oh, you're a house slave," right? And then said, "I come to America to work." He just fucking said it. It's so backwards. I'm off of this.
Correct.
Like, what are you
Correct.
talking about,
Correct.
sir? You
Yeah,
just called her a house nigga,
let
and
me
then you
explain that.
came.
Let me
Hold on,
explain that.
hold
Let
You
on,
me
hold on,
can't
explain
hold
that.
on, hold
explain
on, hold on,
that.
hold on,
Let
hold
me
on.
explain
Because
that.
it went over everybody's head, but it didn't go over
Let me
mine.
explain that
And this
because
is
she.
and this is the part where everybody gets fucking tricked.
Yeah,
Because
listen,
they
listen.
convinced y'all, hold on. They
Listen,
convinced
listen.
y'all
Let me
that
explain.
y'all are
Let me
fucking
explain.
United States citizens. They convinced y'all so bad. Y'all took that United States citizen shit and ran with it. Oh, we gotta go be a citizen. You an enemy of the fucking state. You ain't even, yo, please. Ooh, woo. This shit got my blood boiling. Cause it went over your head. You sat here and you called my sister. Whoever she is, I don't even know her. But God wanted me to hear it. These
Yo.
people gotta undermine who they be talking to. Y'all come over here, steal shit, call people lazy. But you, like he said, you came here to be a whole fucking Uber driver. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good morning.
Hey, don't
The
leave. Don't
fuck?
leave. Don't leave.
Why you don't want me to leave? I gotta go because
No,
I
I
get too
want
fired up because I don't know.
I want to leave you with this before you go.
What you
Right.
got?
So I stand with my people, right? So
Of
y'all
course.
don't cut me off, don't curse me out, right? But I'm gonna tell you something. I've been with an Ethiopian woman 14 years. If you look at my profile, I got 3 kids
Yes,
from
we
her.
love everybody
But
with the right mindset.
it
Right.
was shocked
That's
that
it.
you it was shocked that I was shocked that you knew
Listen,
that information
give
about the
me,
flight,
give me a
about
minute.
we teaching them how to fly. I was just talking to my wife. I was like, dang man, that's dope. A lot of people know that. But all
Listen,
of them not
she
like
didn't
that.
understand. She missed it all. She missed it all. She wanna.
Wait,
I didn't miss anything. Can
hold
you
on.
let the man talk? Please
All
let him talk.
all
Felix, whatever your name is, let him talk, man.
now she's
Yes, your
right
wife
to a
is
extent.
Ethiopian.
She's right to a extent. Some do judge, but they judge their own people. But all of
Mm-hmm.
them not like that. They don't look at us
Right,
like
yes,
that.
of course,
And
yes.
it took from somebody being on the inside, being with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been with her so long, I've been in the culture, but I still represent my culture. And I even tell them,
Mm-hmm.
some of them do judge. And I had to tell them, I was like telling them about their own history because a lot of them don't even know their own real history. They don't even know they was
That's
called
sad.
Abyssinians
Brother,
before they was called
hold on, brother. Let me interject.
Ethiopians. It was called Abyssinians. So I've been educating them
Okay,
on their
brother,
real history, on
let
their
me jump
past
in.
history. So you
Brother,
got
let
to
me
think
jump
they've
in and say
been
this. Brother, let me jump in.
brainwashed for a
The
long
host is
time.
trying to say something.
Brother, let me
Oh, go
jump in
ahead.
and say this. Yeah, I'm the host, brother. I'm the host. Let me jump in and start saying something, brother. Let me say this, bro. Listen, I don't diss Ethiopians, Eritreans, none of them, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But there is
You don't have
a
any part to
large
this. You don't have
number.
any part to
There is
this.
first of
You
all,
don't have
brother,
any part to this.
you're not a
Yeah.
Malcolm X. I don't even know why you got a Fidel X in your profile. But anyway,
You
hold on,
don't.
brother. Don't come
You
off the
don't know
mic
that
because if you
history.
come off the mic again, brother, I'm just gonna drop you. I don't like
What is
disrespect.
your
I want
ex?
to have the conversation, but but you're not gonna overtalk me or disrespect the host. You're not gonna do that on this platform. You can do that on whatever platform you want to go to, but not this one. So let me say this. Listen, brother. It's enough of Ethiopians. They have it in their heritage. I used to, man, listen, I used to date an Ethiopian girl. I'm from California. I used to date an Ethiopian girl that went to USC. As long as we were by ourselves, she was cool with me. But the moment she got around her people, she would stop holding my hand. She would walk on the other side. And she was like, I have to do this because this is part of my culture. They don't like when we date outside our culture. They don't like when we try to be Black American. They want they're like the Arabs. They want to be, you know what I'm saying? They practice that colonialism, that anti-Black hate. They're actually taught that by their parents. And then they pass it on to their kids when they're in their first and second generations when they come here. That tribalism, they bring it with them, sir. So I'm not saying there may be a few. Your wife may not be one of them, but there's enough of them that come to America and it's in their culture to be that way. And that's no knock at them. That's just what it is. That tribalism, that anti-Black hate, that we're not all one nigga. You know, we're not all the same Negro. That's the mindset that they come in. We are just now coming into that mindset saying, you know what, we're not all the same Negro. I'm an FBA. That's a Jamaican. That's an African. That's a tether. We're now figuring this out because we do love everybody.
And guess what? That's just all the tactic to just get everybody distracted, to steal. Like, I just wish everybody would just pay attention to what's going on. I don't even come on nobody panels. Look, and they still going with this shit. Like, you're Black, you're American, you're a slave, you was this, you was over here. Bro, fuck all that. What these people doing? What are y'all talking about? These people are sitting up here ruining the culture, ruining everything.
Can I say something real quick?
Everybody just
hold on, think about this. Think about why it was so easy. Hold on, brother. Think about why it was so easy for Christopher Columbus. Hold on.
You all talk to me.
Brother. I'm gonna drop you. Listen. Think about why it was so easy for Christopher Columbus to come over here and say, "Hey, man, we can take over these people. We can enslave these people." You know why he said that? Because we love everybody.
They gave us the Bible and said, look up to the sky. But before we know it, the land is
have
gone.
integrity and truth.
Come on now.
With our ancestors. We're on the frequency of source. We're connected to the real spirit.
Come on, let's talk about it.
Can I say something about these Africans coming over here?
Hold on. I'm gonna let everybody speak, but you can't come in with a loud mic. Who got a loud mic, man? You gotta stop that. Don't come in with a hot mic. So listen, think about it, man. We're actually, when you hear it in our music, you see it in our inventions. You see the real spirit, the real manifestation, the real people who are connected to frequency and source operating and influencing the world, and they want to distract us with a sky daddy. Listen, they have to do that because that's part of their conquering mechanism. We actually have truth in us. We're not liars. We're not deceivers. We're going to take you at your word most of the time. Now, we're learning not to do that. We're learning to be like, no, that brother's kind of, I don't trust that. But the real nature in us is to be like, okay, yeah, I trust that. Okay, we're gonna go along with it because we don't have a deceiver's mindset or a lying mindset. See, liars expect people to lie, but when you're not a liar, you expect most of the time people to tell you the truth, and that's why it was so easy for them to come over here and take over us and say, oh man, we're gonna promise you this because we do square business. We're gonna promise you this if you do this. So we go and do this, and then they go right behind our back and do something else. That's why it was so easy. That's why it's so easy for you tethers to come over here and infiltrate everything Black American, because we're like, here, man, take this game, take that game, man. Hip hop, go ahead, man, do this, run with this. Here, man, take those Jesus sandals off and put these on, man. Here, man, do this. We gave y'all the blueprint.
And my wife tell me all the time, she say,
what do y'all do when y'all get the blueprint? Y'all go and run off and act like y'all did it.
And my wife tell me all the time, she say, man, stop giving my people free game because they don't tell us nothing.
We already live in white. We all live in the white plan. We live in.
Can I say something?
So
go ahead, brother.
Don't block me. Don't block me. Don't let me.
We're not gonna let you talk. We're not gonna come on here and start babbling.
He said, don't block me, don't block me.
Hey, brother. So
Hey.
I want to say something about these Africans that be coming over here. See, the thing they always say is, they bring that tribalism, they bring all that like anti-Black. But the thing is, when they come to a different country, especially a country that's going to be uplifting them, They should drop all that in their home country. I'm tired of hearing that they're coming over here. Well, they practice this anti-black stuff in their hometown and they're just bringing it over here. No, you leave that in your home country. You're in our country right now, the US of A. So you better act accordingly. I'm tired of hearing their excuses, all these tethers excuses, man. I don't know. I've been listening. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a whole lot of talk. They just come up with these excuses, and they're clearly against us. They're clearly against the FBA family. So, like I don't know. It's just like I get on a lot of lives. I hear their excuses, and it's just redundant. It's like they keep regurgitating the same bullshit.
Either way or another way, you're gonna take your country, or you're gonna move.
You know what I'm saying? See, this is it's like
dumb shit. This
like
that dumb shit.
I'm tired of
This
working
is
with
why.
these type of
This
people.
is exactly why.
want y'all to hear this,
I don't know
family.
why you
Not
feel
the
that
black
way,
people
but I
only.
think
Not
I
the
think
black
you should
people only.
unfeel
Not the
that
black
way.
people. You know
Respectfully.
who
The only reason you have
we're gonna
confidence
take.
to say that is because you're in
It's
our
not about.
country.
It's not about
You
black.
couldn't say
We're
that.
gonna
You
take
wouldn't
about.
be saying shit if you were in
It's not
Africa.
about black. It's not about black peoples only. Even
Like,
white
I'm
peoples.
tired
We're
of
gonna
these
take your
fat going to
country.
Europe,
We're gonna
going to
take
Canada,
your
or
country.
coming to the US thinking there's something, man, because they get a little education. Like, I mean, like it's just
Come
pathetic,
over and
man.
get educated. But listen, many Africans have came on my live and said what Fidel is saying. They want to be. They think when the YT colonizers finally, their empire's over, they believe that they're next up. And their mindset when they come over here is to learn what the colonizers do it and
Go
continue
smoke
to
weed.
practice.
You're all white
They
slaves.
want
You're
to
all
be the next
slaves,
one.
house slaves. Go
They
smoke weed.
want to
We're
be
gonna
the
make.
next one. They want to be the next one. And if I'm being
You're
truthful,
all house slave motherfuckers.
if I'm really being
You're all
truthful,
house.
if I'm really being truthful, this brother
All
doesn't
house
even
slaves.
sound
You're all house slaves.
Ethiopian. He sounds like he's French. Let's keep it a buck. I know what an Ethiopian sound like. This brother doesn't sound Ethiopian. He sounds like he's a white supremacist cosplaying as a. So we got to deal with that too. So I'm just gonna get him up out the paint because we
Yeah,
don't.
because all of them not like that though.
This
That's
brother really sounds like he's French. Like he's really not
yeah.
even from Ethiopia. If I'm being honest, he's a troll. But this isn't the first time we've ever heard Africans say, "Hey, man, we study the colonizers. We're gonna be just like we're gonna study our enemies so we can become them." That's their mentality when they come here. They come over here thinking, "Hey, man, I have no allegiance to anybody in this country. I need to get next to as close as I can to YT. They have no allegiance to any black Americans here. They look down on us. Their job is to work, make money, and become the next colonizer. That's
Hey,
what they all want to do."
you know who was bridging that gap though between us and them? Nip, because Nip half and
Nip
half.
is a writer. Nip is a writer. Nipsey Hussle's
Yeah,
a writer.
but
Yeah.
Nip was half and half, and you can't have that because that was
He's
bridging that gap.
FBA, but Nip is FBA. He's done many things, man. He got his brother Black Sam. They got the most poppin'est restaurant right there in I think it's off. If I'm not mistaken, it's off Rodeo Drive. I mean, this brother got it. The line is like wrapped around buildings to go eat there.
No, I'm
This
saying
brother
his
amazing.
bloodline was half and half. It was half Ethiopian and
Yeah,
half
his
FBA.
mom was a foundational Black American, and his spirit came from foundational Black American.
Right,
That's what.
but I'm saying he could have bridged that.
Malcolm X has Caribbean in him, but he was foundational. He was half Caribbean, half foundational Black American, but his spirit was here. He rode for the people here, and we got no problem. Listen, if you're an African and you riding with what we own over here, we can respect that. If you got the Black consciousness, right, that from hanging out with our people, we can respect that, and we can be like, yeah, man, what's up?
My wife do.
But the moment you start acting like a tether, we got to call it out, and then we got to get you up out the paint. Period.
Two different sides to us with two different
Hey,
cultures.
like, should I state myself as a red brown American, or should I state that I'm Native and Hispanic?
I don't believe you're native, sir, but that's the
I'm of
native.
the whole chunk nation of Wisconsin. I'm federally enrolled because my mom's full blooded.
Cam up, because I don't believe you're, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, natives, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very direct. I'm not even gonna hide it, brother. You're a Johnny come lately too. You have no Your lineage is not older than my lineage. I'm gonna just keep that above.
We have a mound in Wisconsin that was dug up that has our beadwork.
I don't.
Back 5,500 years.
I believe you're a $5 Indian, brother. I believe right now you can get deported, sir. Right now, Trump can come in and say, "Get up out of here," and you got to get up out of here, brother. Yeah, you can get deported. Yeah, right
that's a white man. That's a white man right there.
Right now, you can get deported.
You're a white
right now, brother.
If an was found in a mound in Wisconsin that dates back 500.
If an Italian, Hispanic, or YT can
Vasquez is from Spain that predates the naming of the Americas.
Yeah, exactly. You're a Spaniard. You're a Spaniard.
You're not.
Vasquez was before
indigenous to the land. You're not copper. Listen, hold on. 1828 Webster's Dictionary: copper colored races found here by Europeans. You're not them, sir.
What did Spain say about it then? What did the conquistadors' paperwork say then?
They're not Spain.
You know the conquistador paperwork?
They're Moorish.
That's half my paperwork, so that's like half my lineage.
Okay,
so
Frank.
I know of the conquistador paperwork.
Did you do a genealogy report?
My tribe does their own actually. So like,
not your tribe. We're not worried about your tribe. You got to figure out your own blood. Your tribe. We don't.
Yeah, my tribe does their own.
I'm not talking about what's it called, quantum blood, something that y'all do that to try to prove that you're native. That has nothing to do
last name.
Now everybody want to stay here. Why y'all want to stay? Don't stay now.
Like my mom's full blooded, like so that's why like she got per cap of $12,000 a year off of 7 casinos in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's a finesse. That's called a finesse. Y'all running
other people got mineral rights to oil rights. That's per cap is $34,000 a year.
That's called a finesse. Yeah, y'all finessed the bag, man. For real, y'all did that. Y'all finessed the bag and y'all got to the bag. When y'all found out they were giving out money to be us, y'all said, man, y'all ran to it and said, "Oh man, we got to."
So do you have your own linguistics then?
Why is your name Frank Vasquez?
Because my dad got to name me after him. I'm
okay. Answer the question.
My dad got to name me after him.
All right, listen, right? America is a matriarch, right? Since your mother's full-blooded, right? And America's a matriarch. What gives you 𝗔𝗯ance rights, meaning blood rights to the land?
It goes off tribalism, bro.
No, it don't.
Because we actually are federally recognized and we govern ourselves.
No, you're not answering my question. I said America's a matriarch. Your mother is so-called full-blooded. What would give you 𝗔𝗯ance blood rights to the land? You got a dumb look on your face.
No, because you're asking a dumb question like, bro, my mom's family is full-blooded Wisconsin, 𝗤𝗔𝗄𝐿
You're a fucking invader.
You look Irish,
sir. You got a mound that was dug up that dates back 5,500 years.
You're a mutt.
He looks Irish and Hispanic, man, to be honest.
You're a fucking European/Mexican mutt. That's what you are.
I'm not from Mexicano, bro. I'm a Hispanic from Spain, bro. I'm a conquistador, Vasquez. But I'm also baptized Peyote way, and I'm federally recognized.
So he's
you're a fucking liar. That's what you are.
Bro, I got per cap, bro.
Lord.
I got scholarships. My mom went to a
okay, look, right? You seem to have a lot of a so-called American cultural things on you, like football.
Native American culture, yes, because I go to powwows.
A snapback cap on, probably listen to rap music. Show me some so-called Indian feathers or something in your room.
Oh, right here, beadwork.
Look, the fucking
like the Green Bay
from Wisconsin, bro. That's a Green Bay Packers medallion.
That's what it is, a Green Bay Packers.
$5 Indian.
Yeah, that's Wisconsin, bro. No, we got 12 casinos. Oh no, like 9 casinos, 7 in Wisconsin and 2 in Nebraska. So we got per cap off the casino.
What was Wisconsin before it was called Wisconsin?
Turtle Island.
And what was it before that?
Island.
No, it wasn't called Turtle Island.
Oh, what would you call it then?
You're the one that's a full-blooded American Indian, and
no,
you're federally recognized. You would know what
Hey, what is proven to this one person?
I'm half and half.
Like, who is he? Why does he even matter to prove to him?
Dickhead off.
Because Vasquez is before the American governments were formed.
That dude don't hold no power.
The French
not even
Canadian
worth
government,
talking
the
to.
United States immigrant European government, and the Mexican government was ever formed. Vasquez was here before that. Before 1492. They had paperwork. They have legitimate paperwork of the conquistadors reporting of when they came to the Americas, and they have documented.
What area of Wisconsin are you at, so we can make a phone call to ICE? Because I just
Wisconsin Dells or Nakusa or Black River. Go to Black River Falls. But I'm actually born in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh Lord, Jesus Christ! All right, have a nice day, Frank.
Lobo.
Have a nice day, Frank. Have a nice day. Brother's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's Mexican. That brother's Mexican, man. This is crazy. This is insane, man. Listen, there's so much. Listen, the misinformation, the brainwashing, the propaganda. I want y'all to understand that this stuff is real, man. This is serious business. The topic really wasn't what we went into, but I entertained it because somebody from the comments was saying some stuff, and I said, let me just bring this brother up because I'm not gonna have him just keep typing nonsense in the comments. But
Hey, look, I just took my wife and kids up to our land that been in our family since 1815, and my mom just signed that off to us. I'm totally convinced you cannot tell me this ain't my people land, because in them times, how could you even own land if all those stories are true? So it's just like, man, I even did a research on my bloodline and go back deep. The same name, like Tethers, taking our last names, running off with it. It's crazy, bro. The brainwashing is real. And my wife, she fully stand by me. She believed everything. Like once I showed her, she know what's up.
Listen, there are some real ones out there. I don't hate Caribbeans. I don't hate African. I vehemently dislike the Tethers, and we just have to keep swatting them Tethers like flies, man. We just got to keep putting them on blast, because here's the problem. My only issue with Africans and the Caribbeans is they don't call out their Tethers. That's my only issue, really. They allow them to come over here. They allow them to do what they do. They're not educating the youth. It's really a bunch of these youthful kids who know nothing about nothing. A lot of them don't even listen. A lot of them don't even graduate from the school that in their area when they come over here. So they come over here with really no education, really, and get put into our economy and start driving for Uber, whatever, making some money, right? Hustling. Right, and they come over here with the mindset that I got to get mines and I got to take from the Black American resources to get it. And they join themselves to Hispanics. They join themselves to white people in their vicinity, and they cozy up to them, and they start listening to how they talk about us, and they get the game from these white people, and then they start practicing the game they learn from them on us. They're already tribal, so that they don't have to be convinced about you're different from the Black American, because they're already tribal. So they already come over here with that I'm distinct, I'm different. But the problem, what they don't understand, is that we've been doing stuff here for hundreds of years, for centuries. We've been building this thing up. If we didn't build it, they couldn't come here. And no matter how many times we tell them, they don't get it. And my only issue is, why aren't they telling them people what's what before they get here? Why aren't they explaining to them, hey man, don't disrespect the Black American. He's done this, he's done that. They're great people. They're the reasons why we're here. They make Black look good globally. We're the face of Black globally, not Africa, not the Caribbeans. When they think Black, they don't think Africa, they don't think the Caribbean, they think American Black. They think us. They think our music. They love us so much, but when they get here, they practice hatred, and it's crazy. It's insane.
Can I say something, host? I believe our people have a I've noticed this. I'm 38. I noticed this about myself when I was about 15, and I noticed it when it came to the so-called Latinos or the Latinas in school, right? I never actually was in a relationship with a Latina girl. Not because I couldn't get in a relationship with them. It was because of the things I used to hear them singing in the hallway about the black girls. And like a lot of the older guys that was like, let me say, probably like 2-3 years older than me, they were dating the Latina girls over the black girls. And these was the so-called popular guys in school. So that gave the Latina girls shit to talk about over the so-called black girls. And now the Latina girls is running around saying like, yeah, so-called black guys don't even want to date them. They like us more than they like. So that was the reason why I never mingled with Latina girls like that. Not because I didn't like them. It was because I had a self-pride thing. And I always had that since around 14, 15 years old. So I always was thinking like, why aren't our people?
Let me say this: we come from a culture, especially with our women, especially our women from the 60s and 70s. They were not easy. You're not just gonna lay down with a black woman. Back in the day, it wasn't happening. You know who was the easiest thing? You know what is the running joke in Africa, period? The first person when they get over here to Africa that they're gonna lay down with and sleep with is a white woman. Because they're the easiest. Our sisters, you got to have some game. You have to come correct for them to even pay attention to you. So that's why other races, when they come here, they want to look down on our sisters because they actually have standards. They're not just gonna lay down with any old thing.
I have to disagree with you right now because I would say that the girl going to the highest bidder on an international scale would be the so-called FBA woman. She's
I don't know about that.
Let me finish.
I don't know about that.
She's the only woman from all of these different nations around the planet right now. She's the only one.
Don't get. Okay, this isn't that conversation, but I'll entertain it for a little while. Let me say this. Listen. We got some ratchetness in our community. We got some women that are, they getting there. They're on that mindset where they just go.
The last 3 years of college graduates.
I'll get you the propaganda and witchcraft is really working. But if we really understand who our sisters was back, especially 60s, 70s, even in the 80s and the early 90s.
We're not talking about the 60s.
It wasn't easy. What I'm saying, this is what we come from. Now what we kind of just got diluted and watered down into, it is what it is. But still, man, let's keep it a buck. YT women are still leading on that on them corn sites, brother.
And to come into my sister's defense,
are not easier to have sex with them.
Yes, they are, brother.
Nah, you wrong on that one, bro.
You don't have to have much game, brother, to get one of them, brother. I'm just be honest. You don't have to have much game. Now, with a sister, you gotta have some things in order. They're gonna make you do some things, and that's just what it is. And people don't like that, so they look down on it and they want to demonize them. And they want to point out all the negative, but here's what I always say. Listen, I have patience with women, period, especially our black sisters, because I understand that we're all under a system of white supremacy. White supremacy, stress on a woman and stress on a man is different.
Hey, check right. YT. I mean, our sisters really don't like YT men, and they do that more than the melanated man. Like the FBA man will go to a YT woman before a sister would go to a YT man. Like they really don't. You rarely see them with them, but we're actually dating them more than the sisters. The sisters, man, I know a lot of chicks in the hood. They can't stand YT man. Like they like, I'm good.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. And usually there's a bag in it. Usually there's a bag in it. Usually there's a bag in it. But Virginia, go ahead and unmute your mic, Virginia.
Hey, I'm gonna dip out because I ain't brushed my teeth yet. I just woke up. I'll catch y'all later, bro.
Yeah, I muted your mic up because it was loud. Virginia, go ahead, Virginia. Okay, well, maybe she doesn't want to talk right now. I'll give you a minute. Well, listen, I just brought that up there. I wanted to I entertained that Caribbean tether from New York. It is what it is. Let me bring up my boy. I see cousin in the comments. I'm gonna bring you up here, cousin. Come on up here. But really, what I want to talk about, man, is I want to talk about these secret societies, man. I want to talk about these Greek organizations and how do they benefit foundational Black Americans. That's what I really want to talk about. I want to continue the conversation from yesterday. I understand that a lot of times when I come up here and we start the show, we get people that want to talk about what they want to talk about, and I'm cool. But I'm going to start sticking more to the topic at hand and what I'm here to talk about, because I got to get the message out. I got to wake our people up. We got to understand what's really happening to us. We got to understand that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and we got to even understand our own people. Some of our own people who are Sambos are not for us either, and we got to learn we got to get them about the pain. So what I want to talk about is I want to talk about secret societies, man. I want to talk about these 𝗔𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘁, these Moorish Science Temple Negroes that come in here and try to say they got the game and we need to do what they're doing and all this stuff. But I want y'all to understand one thing. None of these organizations are here to dismantle white supremacy. None of these organizations are here to dismantle white supremacy. They're here to uphold it. Now, all they're going to tell you is if you move like this, you won't feel white supremacy so much. They're here to give you the secrets of how to move stealthily in white supremacy, but they don't really want to dismantle it. They don't want a lot of people to wake up. They only want a few to wake up. It's almost like a privilege thing. We're gonna show you how to get privilege in this white supremacy system. 𝗔𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁, they've never been for us. They've never been for us. The moment they get into power, what do? It's like it seems like all the Greek organizations have been co-opted by political parties. It seems like when Kamala Harris was running for president, all those 𝗔𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁 were voting for her because she was part of their fraternity. When have they ever stepped up? When have any of the 𝗔𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁s ever stepped up and fought for Black people, fought for the lineage, fought for us? A lot of these fraternities now are infiltrated by a lot of tethers. A lot of them. So
let me say this.
Go ahead, cousin.
First, good morning, and thanks for having me up. My question is real simple. Given the number of Black Greek fraternities that have been around or that are around, and for the amount of time that they have been around, have they ever worked together for something for the community? If they have these privileges, they have this access, they have this quote unquote power, but none of them are coming together. The Q's not coming to the Sigmas, the Alphas ain't coming to the other groups. Alphas, they're not working together to move us as a community forward. So why is this? What's that oldest sorority, brother? The Black sorority, the oldest, the sister, yeah.
The oldest sorority is I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. The oldest sorority.
It's the star something. I don't want to.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Okay, and their sisters, right? But now they've been around this long. These men have had this kind of power, and haven't had a fundraiser. They haven't had a community center built. They haven't decided that what happened to Tamir Rice was worthy of speaking out on. What happened to Sandra Bland wasn't worthy of speaking out on, but then they come up here and tell your kids, our children, come join us. These things don't seem to be working together in my view. You're going to have to put something on the table. I need some meat on this bone. Let me say it like that. Hey, BX, what's going on, sweetie? Come on up here. We need people to be actively working for our FBA brothers and sisters. And it does not matter if it's going to be difficult, because let's face it, everything that we're doing and that's coming against us makes our life difficult. And so the idea that they can't find a common ground to come together with each other and say, we're going to do this for the community, but we want the community to respect what we're doing, I find these things to be greatly troubling. It is not something that I can easily get behind. Let me get this thing off. I'll be back, but I'm going to land it right there. Morning, BX, baby.
Yeah. Shout out to BX. How you doing?
Good morning, cousin. Good morning, Too Much. I agree with cousin. What I find is they may do like a lot of things the celebrities do, like performative type of actions, food drives, back to school book bags, stuff like that. But cousin is right. I haven't, unless they're just not telling us that they're AKA and stuff like that. They may be an individual who may voice some things, but on the whole, I haven't seen them speak out against police brutality. And now they're watered down. There's a lot of Caribbeans, Latinas. So, and being in New York, right, I wanted a camaraderie, like with my sisters and stuff like that. I wanted to find my people. So I started looking at the sororities as a graduate. Because, you know, when you graduate, you can still join a sorority. You just got to pay your dues and do some other things. Um, but there was too many Latina names there, and I was like, after a while, it's like you want to be a part of this uh organization type, but you want to specifically help your community. But since it's such a melting pot with all these other groups in there, they're not going to be lineage minded. So I opted not to. But my Caribbean friend, she joined and she loves it. I see the glow up in her. I'm proud of her. I'm happy that she's found her home. But at the same time, I'm still looking for my people. And they have a mindset. I can use her like a police minded type of set. Well, had they just complied and you know for the most part. But how much can they really speak out if they want to rubberneck with those in power, right? So are they what we would call the boule too much? Right.
Yeah.
And so the boule tends to lock us out, right? Us regular schmegular folks. Um, so yeah, they're like gatekeepers, but gatekeeping just for them and not inclusive of us. And
Correct.
that's another problem.
Correct. So let me ask this question. That brings me to this question, right? Does the Boule's proximity to elite institutions create a buffer that blocks grassroots voices or a bridge?
Locks.
I can speak to that. I think it blocks because it's actually really painful. My husband is part of the Divine Nine. We have
We don't rock with them, man. I'm sorry, but go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but he doesn't have. He's not like the people that he hangs around. I didn't know what boule meant until I saw a couple of animated videos on Facebook. So I'm kind of learning a little bit more. But to me, I know what bougie is, and it sounds like it's kind of the same thing. Bougie, boule. I don't know. Are they similar?
No, they're not the same. They're similar, but yeah, they're not the same.
What she
You
say?
know, anybody can be bougie. Anybody can be
Okay,
bougie.
she said bougie. Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah.
But
Bougie is bougie, but boule is definitely boule, and boules can and are most likely bougie. Let's keep it like that.
So you're saying the boule is really a part of this secret society, like the Divine Nine? They help
Oh yeah,
people. Okay.
it's man. Listen, they listen. I almost was a Greek. My
Hmm.
brother is a Greek, and I tell this story. I had a person that almost was unalive on our line while we were going through the
Yeah,
Haiti.
terrible. I hear stories. Terrible.
And when I saw how cowardice these people were,
Terrible.
because they were more worried about them getting in trouble and all the eyes being on the organization, not on the individual that was about to be unalived. And if I didn't rush this person to the hospital, the doctor said if you got him here 1 second late, we could not
Mm,
save him. And
that's
they didn't
sad.
want to take his brother to the hospital because they were so afraid. And the
Yeah.
way that they changed up and said, "Oh, you guys are brothers now. We're going to cross you. You don't have to go through the sands of time or whatever it is." I
Mhm.
didn't. I didn't make it to the last. I didn't make it to the final boss or the last level. But I went through hell, and I had to think about why. Why would I put myself through this to be part of a group of cowardice people? People that I normally wouldn't hang around with. Period, because we're not cut from the same cloth. If I'm being honest. And I'm not disrespecting all the Greek organizations and saying everybody in Greek is coward, but the line that I was running, the people that were hazing me,
Mhm.
they were some cowards, man. And I saw right
Well,
through them. When
I
I
can
seen,
tell you
I said I
from
can't
when
do that with
the
these people.
the horror stories I heard, my husband's line brothers, now they get together often. They talk about those cowards, and they stopped it. They changed it. It was a group of them that changed it, and they also had brothers in other fraternities. I guess the rule was you weren't supposed to talk to them. It was almost like a game. It sounded like what I was used to. That the
Oh,
different
it is a
fraternities
gang, to tell you the
didn't
truth,
talk.
sister. It really is a gang, but they are working from an intellectual and educational perspective.
Exactly. So they stopped that at the years they were going to school because they all went to college as best friends. It's about more than 10 of them. So they all went to different areas, and they did a couple of things. So I wish you would have stayed if you have that good heart, because they really found some people in there that stood with them.
Listen,
Um
man. You know what I found. You know. I think to find that's prevalent in a lot of these secret societies and organizations and Greek letters, and not to detriment anybody if this is your lifestyle. But
mhm.
there's a lot of down low brothers in there.
Yeah,
There's a
okay,
lot
maybe
of down
that's
low
it.
brothers in
That's
there, and
it.
there's a lot of down low brothers in Hollywood. If you out, you're out.
Yeah.
At least you're open with it. Be
Don't
open with
forget
it and
Catholic
be out.
churches.
But
The
there's a
churches.
lot of down low brothers in
I
these
didn't think about
organizations
that.
that don't want to tell you, and they have wives. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
They have wives, but they're down low.
Never
Modern
And
day
thought
Brokeback Mountain, baby.
that's something to
I don't listen.
start
If
looking
you're gonna
at.
be that lifestyle, I'd rather you be out in the open with it and be truthful and
Exactly.
honest than be hidden in some closet and be trying to coerce brothers and do the wink wink and you got something in your eye, do that stuff to
Oh
get
my
them to come.
God. Never
Listen,
thought about that.
listen. Man, my father taught me to stand on business for damn near everything. Okay,
Hmm.
so,
I
but the
I don't know
issue,
why
it's
I
like
never thought about
these
that.
brothers are cowards. They don't really stand
Yeah.
on business. They're actually not really earning their positions. They're getting placed in their positions.
Now let me tell you about. Okay, so I felt the most uncomfortable at one of their, I don't know what holiday it was, but they have really nice homes. They are millionaires, most of them. We are not, far from it. We're far from that lifestyle. But the people we go to their Christmas party, they sit around you. And please, guys, this is just my experience. If most divine nines don't do this. This is just what I experienced, and I will never say what my husband is because I don't want that to be on one group of people. These are just the mindset of the people I was around, and I didn't go off with the wives who were all in the same fraternity. That's kind of weird, but um, anyways. they were talking about how well they did, and they came from humble beginnings like us. But I kept having to interject and ask, well, why do you feel so? I I forget what I was asking, but I could tell I was getting on the guy's nerves because I didn't go with the women. I should have went with the women, but I felt comfortable with my husband. But the only thing they were talking about is how much their cars cost, how much money they have, and I'm just not used to that because I don't have rich friends like that. So I don't know if that's something just rich people do.
Well, you got to
They talk
understand,
about that.
too many of us have bought into the material lifestyle of America. Okay. And the idea that I got the Lexus X, you got the Lexus XL, it's supposed to be some sort of shine for them.
I
But
think I
again,
learned about Chargers that day. I had no idea these cars were over 250,000. I just thought they were regular cars.
Man, you got to understand listen, when somebody starts talking about material things and
It's
that's the
weird.
primary focus, you know where their heart is.
Yeah, it
It's
was
not just the
weird.
people. You know how genuine these people are. They're just doing the compare and contrast. I always say it like this: whenever you got to bring money into something that's morality and principle and stand on business, you lost. When you got to
yeah,
tell
you've
me,
been compromised.
I make more money than you. When you got to go there, and 9 out of 10 times they don't. But when they say that, then when you got to go there, it's like, oh brother, you just show how shallow you are. You just show how
That's how I felt.
disconnected you are.
And that's how I was talking. So I was kind of rude and out of place because those are my husband's friends or whatever. I mean, I
Did they
should
invite you back?
have. Uh, not the owner of the house, yes, but not with that particular group. So
So
we
is
hang
that
out
like a form
separately.
of elitism that they practice? Because again, if you're in these organizations and you put this stuff on your resume,
Hmm.
and usually again these are the people in the corporation that happen to be black that are in these high positions. They're most likely going to bring you in. It's like, I'll be honest.
Right.
They were grooming me from high school. This is a grooming man. They were grooming me from high school, if I
Okay.
remember correctly, to be a
Yeah.
part of the Greek organization. Like they single out people. They started bringing their Greek letters into the high school area, especially where I was at. And we had a
Okay.
little club. I'm not going to say what club it was, but it was called the organization. But they put
I
club
understand.
people in, right?
Yeah,
And we
I
put them in
wouldn't knock what
this.
they're doing. Don't knock what they're doing. I wouldn't want none of these divine nines to stop what they're doing because they're possibly doing some good
Oh,
things.
they're grooming,
If
ma'am.
they're
They're
not
Oh,
grooming.
telling
so
us
they're
or we don't
not?
know that they're doing it, how can we give them
Grooming.
credit for it?
They're grooming, ma'am. And guess what happens? Once they groom you and they
Uh-huh.
put you into their little system, they get you to cross the sands of time or whatever, and you become one of them. You get to do the secret handshake, whatever they do, when they shake your hand,
I
you
see
know.
them greet each other and I
Yeah,
said,
they greet
man,
each
I
other
miss
and they do this little secret handshake, and that's how they know what to say and what not to say. Because if you don't know this handshake, I didn't get to the handshake, okay?
oh
But
Lord.
trust me, many people who know me, who really know me, and they know they think I'm one of them sometimes because they're like, oh yeah,
Oh
he
Lord.
was online, and they try to do those little secret handshake, and it looks awkward because I just give them the real handshake and shake the hand like this, and they try to do all this other stuff, and I just pull my hand back when they do that. I
Oh
just
my
pull
God.
my
You know what? You're gonna have me be like the Stepford housewives. The secret society. Now I'm gonna start looking like I do see
watch.
him greet people, but I don't know if he
Start
got
in
to the
high school. I
handshake.
was being groomed, and I remember when I was crossed because they have
Oh,
terminology. They have paper. You can
woo.
either be paper, or you can go through the actual ritual and rites. Now, a lot of people, let's keep it real. A lot of these fraternities, a lot of these people are not really going through the hazing part. They're
They're
papered on.
doing it. Okay.
They're paper.
Ooh.
They just sign the paper and they pay the dues and they become a part of the organization. And then they kind of still get hazed, but they get hazed in a little bit different ways. Because if these people who do paper, they usually have money and they come from something, and they don't really have to necessarily go through the ritual, but they still have to go through some sort of initiation, if I can say that, to where they kind of feel you out to make sure you're okay to really talk to. But they do it from high school, okay? And I would almost agree.
You telling the real secrets. You about to make a movie.
Oh yeah.
I never thought of any of this. This is like, you sure you want to expose all?
Oh man, listen, man. I'm here for my people, man. I don't have no fear. You know, I'm not here to play these games. I'm here to tell the real. I'm here to get my people free from all this nonsense that's going on. We don't understand what's happening to us. Let me tell you, this is what the dominant society does. They groom you. They see who you are. They see that you got talent. They see that you may be a step ahead of other people, and they try to they groom Candace Owens. Why do you think Candace Owens talks the way she talks? She's been groomed. They get the brightest of us, and they have to disconnect you from your people. Now, Candace Owens is not us. She's the Caribbean tether, but she does say some real stuff sometimes. But she's not one of us. But she was groomed. She was a staunch cold Democrat, and then they said, "Oh no, this is an intelligent lady. We got to groom her to our side."
Well,
and they use money as their bait to groom you.
They use it's not just money. They use more. Listen.
No, it's not all money, but yeah, you're right.
They got tactics. They love to tell you how special you are. They love to tell you how different you are. They love to stroke that ego, and they love to tell you, look, I can get you to the next level. You just need the right people.
Okay.
Your people, they're never going to support you. But we can do this, and that, and they start putting these little carrots in front of you. And you, it's a little bit about the money, but it's not. It's about that recognition. It's about that acceptance. And they know if they can get you away from your people, you'll start.
Say it like this:
you'll start riding
that
with
community
them.
that you just came from, the family that you just left, that neighborhood, your boys and all that. They ain't really got your back, bruh. These people you just met, we got your back. We gonna help you move forward. You ain't got to worry about them cats back there no more. And too many of us have abandoned our community and become individuals.
Well, that's the community I'm trying to get back to. So you guys have really woken me up. I'm gonna like you too much because I always ask my husband, help hook me up with your people, Divine Nine, because I have a nonprofit that I'm trying to support the hood people in the hood. So now I'm looking like, oh yeah, I don't want their help.
Don't get
You're seeing why they haven't helped.
Yeah, think about why they haven't helped. Think about all the things all the money they raised. Listen, all the money they raised for Kamala Harris. Dang near $1 billion these Divine Nines didn't raise for this woman. And they were the main ones saying she was black when they knew damn well she wasn't black, but they followed suit. A lot of these Greek organizations are co-opted by political parties, and that's how they are used. The dominant, even the NAACP, is not really black.
I have issues with them too.
The leader of the NAACP or the top guy is not even black. BET is not really black.
Yeah, the community.
The Black Caucus is full of tethers, non-foundational Black Americans who care nothing about our lineage and care everything about immigrants.
Okay, so NAACP, I never felt comfortable going to them. I don't know why. I don't see, when I go to their meetings, they don't want to bring in the people that I'm trying to reach in the community I'm from. So that's another thing. I don't feel that with the Divine Nine. So I don't want to go to celebrities. So I don't know who.
Grassroots. Go to the grassroots. Cousin, tell her who the grassroots is, brother. Tell her what she need to be plugged into.
You want information so that you can follow and keep up with us? You need to go to the New Black Media. Pay attention to the New Black Media. Today is Saturday, correct?
Where is that a channel? It's called New Black
It is,
Media.
it is, sweetie. I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay.
The Black Authority will be broadcasting his show or his program. It is not a show, it is a program. It will be on approximately 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. He does a live call-in show. Anybody from around the world can call in and talk with him, and he will, as he says, he's not going to give you a receipt. He's going to give you some invoices to back up everything that he's saying. This program is Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Professor Black Truth does a Monday through Friday moment of truth where he speaks on an issue. Friday, what he does in his moment of truth is called the crime report. But it's the crime report that mainstream media doesn't show you. The actions that are happening. Oh, excuse me?
I know it has to be more white tea because that's what I go on. Whenever they talk about our crime rate, I talk about the school crime rate and the young kids.
Pay no attention to the stats that they're saying because they're going to cherry pick everything that they give you. Everything that they're going to put in the public, they're going to cherry pick you. You want to follow 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘁. By the way, the Black Authority and Professor Black Truth are on YouTube. So all you got to do is get on YouTube, 8 o'clock in the morning, and get your moment of truth from Professor Black Truth. From the Black Authority.
Don't forget Phil Scott.
Thank you, brother. Yes. I've been meaning to bring him up too. I've been meaning to bring him up.
At 8 a.m.
Monday at 8 a.m. Professor Black Truth.
And New Black Media is 8 p.m. on Thursdays.
The Black Authority is 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
That's live though. But you could go now. You could go right now and listen to old podcasts. So
exactly.
What I like about YouTube is you can catch any broadcast anytime you want because it's on the channel. So even though they may broadcast live, you can always go back and catch up on the ones you didn't see.
These two brothers have been around for 15 years rocking this. You want to know why our reparations movement is as strong as it is right now? Because these two brothers in particular have been out here rocking or beating this drum until the rest of the FBA brothers and sisters caught wind of that beat. And once we got wind of that beat, it got bigger, stronger, and better. The brigade, the B1 brigade, got stronger, becomes bigger. This is why you hear cats when Fat Joe is out here trying not to say FBA. That's why he didn't want to say it, because you will never find any of the mainstream media forces that will go and talk to Jason Black. Jason Black has done multiple documentaries, just like Tariq. But they address Tariq, but they will not address Jason. Now you have to ask yourself, why are they not even mentioning Jason Black's name?
But they only address Tariq in a negative light, in a negative way. So just keep that, address him in a positive way. But again, you just go to YouTube and put the brother's name in, you'll catch up to speed. But also you have to listen to Nelly Fuller Jr. He passed away. But you want to have that too in YouTube, because he break down white supremacy to a T. I get all my talking points from him. He's an elder, but he's up to the next realm in the galaxy, whatever you want to call it. So
he's crossed over, brother, yes.
Definitely want to listen to Nelly Fuller. He break white supremacy down. And the problem with our people, we don't really understand white supremacy. And people who look like us don't understand white supremacy. And like Nelly Nelly Fuller Jr. said, if you don't understand white supremacy and how it works, everything else you think you know, gonna sound crazy to you, man. So you got to know who Nelly Fuller is, man. I misquoted him, but look at the legit what I'm trying to say. But you
you are 100% on with that.
Nelly Fuller Jr. And I didn't get the time for a crime report. That's on Saturday morning.
No, that's Friday morning. It's your moment of truth. It'll be your moment of truth from Professor Black Truth.
And
Monday through Friday.
Monday morning.
Jason Black?
Jason Black is on the weekend.
Okay.
Tariq Nasheed is on YouTube. You can catch him.
Yeah, I see him.
He got a bunch of shows on YouTube. He does a live every once in a while.
Daily. He does
He's
daily.
mainly on Twitter, but I would just catch his show on YouTube to start
He
out
do
with.
a lot of Twitter space.
Yeah,
he
Okay.
He does Twitter too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. You can
like
drop
every
me.
day.
I got 5 people to listen to, and yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm
Unapologetic.
looking to connect with the. You opened my eyes
into
a
the
lot. I was looking for them handshakes.
Good information.
When they shake hands, they do. You know they.
Right, you know. Now they do. Hold on. Unapologetic. How you doing, Unapologetic?
What they be doing in
Now,
the
I
handshake.
Unapologetic was another live, right? We heard this. We just left
I
that.
know. That's why I'm going to address Unapologetic. How you doing, Unapologetic? How you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Listen, great job, but they will never understand the facts. These black immigrants came here and separate themselves first. I'm not black. I'm this. I'm that. They started that. I remember. Listen, I was Pan-African. I was born into Pan-Africanism. That's a fact. I helped free Nelson Mandela, walking around with the black Mandela. That's a fact.
That's right.
We booed 𝗂𝗄𝘁.
Really did.
We shut down Peter Botha in a heartbeat.
Hold on. We booed 𝗂𝗄𝘁 because he came on stage with a bunch of jewelry. We booed him on stage because of that. So I was in the trenches, yo. And again, you had grown-ass men telling me, African men telling me, you're not African, you're American. They were saying that. We kind of ignore that. We put it to the side. But now I believe them today.
Yes.
They don't want to accept us doing the same thing they started off with. And that's why they didn't like you unapologetic. I just had to say that.
Yeah, they was attacking her.
I was just in a. You was in the same room with me.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, like.
And I
All right,
left.
fam, let's get these likes up to 15,000. Let's get
I
these
won't send
likes up
mine
to
right now.
15,000.
Yeah, I was in there with you. I was in there 10 minutes. I left because they was talking about black Caribbeans, black West Africans, and us.
No,
and all
but
that
not
crap.
just
Get
that.
up out of
They
here.
were trying to lie. Because when unapologetic say, you separate yourself first, they want to call her a liar.
Right.
And I don't like that because that's not true. You did do that first.
Yeah, I was
Plenty of black
asked about
immigrants.
jazz music.
Plenty of black immigrants. I'm not Jamaican. I'm black. I'm
Yep.
not black.
Right.
I'm Jamaican.
Right.
They came in doing that. They came in separating themselves
Thank
and
you.
And you know what, though?
themselves from us.
Then they got
Like
hold
I
on. Then they
said-
got the hold on. And then they got the nerve to bring up other immigrants. We focus on black immigrants because you look like us. Candace Owens look like us. See, an Asian person cannot get on Fox News and say the thing that Candace Owens said and not be called out. That's why we bang on y'all.
Well, you know what though, Dr. No Job. Also, you got to realize though, at the end of the day, you got to realize, like you said, they look like us. So we got to focus on. If we focus not only on them but on other people, they're gonna lead their way into our communities and start speaking for us.
Because again, like the brother said earlier, the NAACP is not run by Asians. It's run by tethers, yo. And I gave him a prime example of the MMA fighter, Black American. FBA was on Joe Rogan's neck for being racist. And this African MMA fighter at a press conference grabbed the mic and said, I can speak on it, I'm black. Saying Joe Rogan is not a racist, he's my N-word. The Asian person can't do that. That's what we're talking about. But your immigrants don't want to get it, yo. And I don't care you don't get it. We swinging on all y'all. All y'all. And I'm calling ice on every single one of y'all. I don't
That's
care.
right.
Ice. I don't care. I don't care. We need to get you out of here, yo. Because you're disrespectful, man. Majorly. I mean,
Right.
Did you guys see the other day?
They want to say that whenever we're putting down boundaries, they're like, oh, no one is asking you to kiss nobody's butt.
That's right.
You kiss white people's butt, but they don't ask you to do that, but you just do it free willingly. Ugh.
It's
crazy. I'm
right?
ready for this 14th Amendment decision to come out.
You
And I hope
ain't
that
lying. I thought it came out last week.
interpreted
Then
as
they
it
said
should
they was
be.
deadlocked on it.
Yeah, they were doing arguments last week. And I think they're here, like they let them argue the point last week.
I don't think the Supreme Court has made a decision yet.
No, they was deadlocked on it. I heard from the last time I got on.
Because my thing is, they love to say I'm a citizen. I got my paperwork. Man, you don't know white folk the way we know white folk. They give you paperwork on Monday. You change the law Tuesday to to renege on the deal they made with you Monday.
You mean Monday night? They gonna change the law as soon as they hand it to you.
Right?
Okay?
Matter of fact, hold on. If you don't believe me,
they don't know white
hold on,
folks.
listen, hold on. If you don't believe me, hold on, listen. If you don't believe me, go look at GoFundMe. They want to stop us from sending money to the brother who ran over the police officer. They said our website do not solicit funds for people with violent crime or accused of violent crime. What? What? George Zimmerman?
Rittenhouse, Zimmerman.
Thank you.
Penny.
You said they changed the rule when it come to us?
Yeah.
You don't know the white man the way we know the white man.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
I said it before and I say it again. FBA is decades ahead when in the fight against white supremacy than any of these immigrant tethers. Decades ahead.
Amen. You ain't lying about that. The fight is real.
You damn right.
They want to believe that they on the same level that we are because they have freedom of speech.
But you know what though?
The color of our skin.
I'm glad that we just woke up.
And you damn right. Hold on. If you're gonna kiss ass, it should be our ass. You'll be kissing the white tea ass. You see the way that when you go to Target and you talk to these black immigrants, they look at you with disgust, yo.
Yep.
They do, man. I looked at one and say, you better be fucking happy you're in my goddamn country, yo.
But then again, you look at them too. Look at them. I look at them too with disgust. I'm like, oh my God.
You ask them a simple question. Because now everything is behind the glass now, what you want. And they got an attitude because they need a key to open up the glass.
Yeah.
But the white man asks you, you'll do a backflip and cartwheel thing. And when it comes to black American, you'll suck your teeth and roll your eye.
Mm-hmm.
Hell out of here with that. I don't like it.
You know what? They're on the ropes now, and they're scared. They're like, you know what? Now they looking at us like, you know, FBI looking at us like as being different, and they don't want no parts of us. They don't want us in our communities, and we don't. We don't want no parts of us.
But you know what they're going to find out though? They're going to find out that all this distinguishing that they've been doing, and that we're like, okay, yes, do that. Now you're gonna be putting a magnifying glass on you. Because before, you know, white people want to look at, you know, they want to lump them in with us.
Yes.
Now that we're saying, no, y'all over there, we're over here, now it's going to really, you know, intensify in terms of like how white people see them, because they love to try to say, oh, y'all love the white tea man. That's y'all.
But you know what though, even
they're going to realize how small their numbers actually are.
I don't like when they say, hold on. I don't like when they say they mistake us for us. Stop dressing like us. And they won't mistake. We're your African garb. We're your Haitian attire. Don't dress like us, and they won't mistake you for us.
Put back on them Jesus sandals, and we won't mistaken you.
Them coconut sandals. Don't forget the coconut sandals.
Put them back on. The way you came, with the beads in your hair, the way you came, go back to that, and we will not mistake you for who you are. We try to get y'all right. We try to give y'all the game, and then we see that y'all take the game and then act like we ain't told y'all what to do.
It kills me. It kills me that you say that, right? Because that Nigerian girl a couple of weeks ago, when she was talking about how people in New York speak on fashion versus people in the South, and they all got on her like, wait a minute, you African, you can't speak on FBA fashion and culture. You ain't got nothing to do with us. Well, I'm black too. Look, you black, but you African. You are not FBA. You don't know the culture of the fashion history in this country. You just came here, so you can't speak on us.
So let me get back to I feel you, but let me get back to the topic, you guys, because I really want to nail this thing home about the boule, about the Greek organization and how they mimic the secret society.
Or were they out of Philly?
And how they're not here to uplift foundational Black American communities, but they are here to uphold the system that is oppressing us. They are the gatekeepers. They are the handlers. They're going to be that one black person that try to tell you, you know what, man? White people are okay, man. You just got to move like this. You just got to do like this. They want to talk black, but they want to act white.
Okay.
These are the boulets. These are the people that raised $1 billion for Kamala Harris. These are the people that tried to tell you that Kamala Harris was a black woman. These are the people, just because of their fraternal brotherhood and sisterhood, it supersedes their lineage. Did you know that?
Yep. Can I speak on that just for a second?
Go ahead.
So I've been listening to the conversation, and first of all, good morning, everybody. I don't want to.
Good morning, Dredd.
Yeah. So I've been listening to the conversation, and I heard a couple of very important points that were made, and I just wanted to kind of chime in. So for one, boule is similar to like the bourgeoisie, which is where the word bougie came from. You know what I mean? Bougie is kind of like a shortened up word for the bourgeoisie, which was a social status. It's a French word for a social status, and these are like elitist people that kind of would not fraternize with the lower class people. So it's kind of tied in, but I think bougie in our lingo is kind of like people who just have their nose turned up, but it did kind of spin off from the bourgeoisie, the French word. So that's one thing. Another thing, a cousin actually touched on. He said that these people are not out protesting with us. They aren't out here stomping down and being 10 toes down when it's time to take the streets for like situations like Tamir Rice being unalive in Ohio. So I'll tell you the reason why. I did a little research, and as a matter of fact, the AKAs put out a statement to their sorority members during the Tamir Rice protest. They said, you can wear your colors to the protest, but don't wear any insignia. Don't represent us when you're out there protesting. So now we have to take a step back and look at the secret society that's behind some of these people that are out there in our politics. The Jasmine Crockett's, the people who are up there in the CBC. Who's tying their hands and telling them that they can't do certain things because they are a part of those sororities and fraternities? So the secret societies may still have their hands in our politics and may be preventing some of the things that need to be said, boldly and loudly on behalf of foundational Black Americans. And like you said, a lot of these sororities and fraternities now are being, infiltrated essentially by non-FBA immigrants. So that's what's happening. So these people are also telling their members that you cannot go out and say and do certain things publicly because you are a member of this fraternity, a member of this sorority. So that's important. And another thing, cousin, that you touched on, you said these people are not building. But here's the thing: the Alpha, I looked it up. The Alpha Phi Alpha, they build community centers. They have a community center in Oklahoma City and also in Alabama and some of the other southern states. They buy dilapidated buildings and create community centers. So that's one thing that they do that the Alpha Phi Alpha does do. But we got to take a look at these secret societies. They may actually have a hand in why your politicians are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. All right, now land there.
Hello, bro. Sorry. What is the program we are talking about? Sorry.
Hold on, brother. Can't just come in like that. Oh.
Thanks for the information, Head. Appreciate that, man. My point wasn't, I understand that the alphas might do with the community center thing. My point was the alphas are supposed to be working with the Q dogs. The Q dogs are supposed to be working with the sigmas. The alpha girls are supposed to be working with the Zeta girls. The Zeta girls are supposed to be working with the Deltas. They are supposed to be working together for the benefit of us. And they have abandoned that aspect of community. And if you have abandoned that aspect of community, how can you possibly say to the rest of us that you're working for us? Because you want to show us that you're working for us. You want to show us what you're doing for us. You all are going to have to come and work together and put something out so that we know that you're doing it.
Man, that's a great point.
Too many of us have said we're going to try and do this thing from behind the scenes, but from way down low, we're going to try and work together. Early on, we had that lawyer came up here a while ago, and he told us flat out, like, we're trying to do the stuff. We want to work on the reparation stuff, but my boss, man, I mean, I'm getting paid by these people right here. They got my time, manipulation, and my lifestyle all tied up in this company. So I can't put real billable hours to the fight for reparations. Otherwise, I'll lose my livelihood.
You know what I'll
So
say to that is that, they had you. It's always like they talk about, oh, we can't do things that are unpopular. They do things that are unpopular all the time. It's like I understand, I totally get it. Your livelihood, I get that. I think that when stand 10 toes down on things that are quote unquote unpopular, they don't have a choice but to, get on board like they did with, everything else that we have right now in terms of ending enslavement. I'm trying to use my words very carefully. All the laws that they have specifically targeted to us. I just think that they always like to use that as an excuse. And then one other thing I want to make a point about the sororities and the fraternities. They're always like it's always like this competition amongst themselves. And not only that, I find it kind of strange that they allow, white tees and others in the fraternity when y'all both of those organizations, when y'all started them, because they blocked y'all out. So why would you let them in?
Mm-hmm.
Think about, I want y'all to think about this. Think about if the fraternities was actually really riding for the people. Think about how vast they are, how many of them are in strategic places that they are. Think about if they were actually doing the work that they were supposed to do instead of deceiving the people and making you believe they stand for something they really don't.
That would be powerful.
I want y'all to think about that.
But here's the thing.
Like cousin, we could be if that was true. No, go ahead, Dre. Go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like cousin said, they are practicing tribalism. They're practicing. They won't even work with each other. And if you've ever been around some people that are from different fraternities and different sororities, there's a tension in the air, and they act like they're in rival gangs, and it's weird. It's very weird. Another point that I wanted to make is that even calling yourself Greek, the Greek bike fest, Greek, that is a Stockholm syndrome in itself. You're not Greek. Exactly. You are not Greek. That's Stockholm syndrome. Shout out to King.
Greeks got their education from us, turned around and sold to us, and now we going around talking about we Greeks. Get the fucking out of
insanity. The only time they work when they come together and work with each other.
When is that?
Politics.
In politics. As part of the CBC, we need to find out what fraternities and sororities our Black Caucus members are members of, and find out the policies and beliefs of those fraternities and sororities. Find out if they are the type that have made those statements, like how the AKAs came out and told their members, do not wear your insignia at protests. I don't want you representing us when you're out there protesting on behalf of Black people. You know what I mean? We need to find out what fraternities and sororities, find out what secret societies they are, being controlled by, because that's very important. And then, take that information to the ballot box the next time they are up for election. That's very important. Also, I want to say thank you to the people that are gifting. I appreciate y'all.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, step up. Go ahead. And then I want to hear from Harvey. I want to hear from Harvey. You've been silent, man. I got to hear from you, Harvey. But go ahead, step up.
I am so down for what DH just said, and cousin, because I was just not going to ask for anything, but I know from what my husband says, they always fundraise for organizations. My nonprofit needs support. I want my services to be free or low cost to my community. I help children who are ADD, ADHD, become honor students, or just help illiterate people read, or 3 and 4-year-olds learn how to read in 30 days. I have a system I've been using for 5 years, but I don't know my parents. I used to work for California. I worked at a school. I just didn't feel like doing that anymore. So I'm trying to figure out how to make my service free, and I wanted to go to them. So if we could try to find out, that's what I wanted to do, and that was my journey. But kind of was like gonna not do that because
Let me ask you a question. How long has your nonprofit been in existence?
my nonprofit's been in existence since I think 2014, but I've been
2014.
funding it myself.
You've been funding it yourself. Okay, so that's good. Okay.
So
So
I
Okay,
could
okay, bro. Sorry to ask. What is the question? What we are talking about right now? Sorry to ask.
brother, you gotta listen in, brother. You gotta listen in.
Yeah, I'm listening, but I don't get it clearly because everybody talking
Then
his
maybe listen a
idea.
little bit longer.
You gotta listen a little bit longer. I got you, brother. But you know, honestly, this conversation is probably not for you, brother. You probably need to go find another room. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's why I just asked. That's why I
Okay.
say sorry to ask about that.
No problem. Go just go hit up another room, brother. This is we having a high level.
Okay, I'm just listening. That's why I'm just listening now.
So I'm sorry. You can drop me after this. My because my original mission was to reach out to all the fraternities. I didn't know about Alpha because I'm all about the
I
community.
would say this: start with your churches. Start in the community that you're serving. Let them know what you're doing. You're already putting your own money behind it, which is a good thing. Or continue to do that because listen, I have my own. It's not a foundation, but it's the FBA coin, right? And I'm fully funding it myself. I'm fully pushing it myself. I'm fully letting people know. You have to be if you're not prepared to get 50,000 no's, then don't even believe that your organization is going to survive. Your foundation is going to survive. If you have the mindset that I'm willing to go out and talk to the people, let them know what I'm doing, and trust that they're going to support it because it's in their heart to, and it's a good thing. If you have that mindset, then it's going to succeed. But there's no quick route to starting a business from the ground up. There's always going to be footwork. There's always going to be work involved. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's supposed to be. But once you start getting traction, once you push that ball up the hill, it'll begin to have a life of its own. So if you're prepared to get 50,000 no's, stand 10 toes down and keep doing what you're doing. And start with your community. Start within your local community first. Before you go national, you got to start local. So start building the traction locally first, and be bold. When don't be afraid when people turn you down or they act uninterested or whatever. Just keep doing it. And you're more than welcome to come up here anytime and talk about what you're doing and give out information. Have a website and have some information that you can give to people. And and most of all, make sure it's real and legit. Be square business. Be a person of integrity and exude that a person of integrity, and people are gonna rock with you. People are gonna rock with you.
And I just wanted to ask, how important do you guys think it is to be an honor roll student? Because I wasn't an honor roll student, and I became an honor roll student later in life as an adult. But do you guys feel that that's important for a child's self-esteem? Were you all honor roll students? I know my husband's group was, but I'm just talking about regular.
I do think it's important. I think it's important to push children to try to be on the honor roll. I think it establishes self-confidence in the institution of learning. As a matter of fact, when you go to college, it's a culture shock, especially if you grow up in a black community. I think our kids need to feel confident in their intellect, confident in their cognitive abilities, and I think pushing your children to achieve in the educational institution starts from the time they're in kindergarten on up. So my parents definitely pushed us to be on kindergarten and principal's list, and also to get perfect attendance. I have a box full of ribbons and awards and trophies, all the way starting from elementary school. So I think it's very, very important.
Okay, that's my.
I wanted to add to your
Yeah, I
question.
want to add to that too. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll go after you on apology. I want to add.
Okay, thank you. I was just going to say, yeah, I do think it's important, but what resonated with me is when you said that I got it as an adult, when you got older. And I think that a lot of the times you already have it in you. It was already in you all along. It's just like, in my opinion, the environment that you're in is going to definitely just pull that out naturally. Because I think, this is my opinion, like foundational Black Americans, just given our unique history, it's there. It's there. And sometimes the environment does not, foster that, because they always try to put a lot of our kids in like special education when they just didn't know how to teach them and get through to them.
Got it.
So
Perfected.
keep that in mind, when you're, because you might have some kids who get it get it straightforward. You might have some that need it, said a different way, but they all have the aptitude and, the skill to be on the honor roll and, across, from all the formative years, grade school, college. So I think it's important to keep that in mind and how the information is given, so that you don't leave people out who may not get it in that single form that's always given. So yeah.
So let me add to that. Listen, I think education has an importance. I graduate. I kind of resonate with what Kingpin was saying, because I come from. I graduated with a 3.6 GPA. I got when I went to college, I got a bachelor's degree in biblical studies. I graduated with a 4.1 GPA. I mean, so I understand that, but I don't want people to place too much importance on that, because education has nothing to do with intelligence.
Exactly. You know what?
Education and intelligence are not synonymous. Okay, education just means you follow the indoctrination program. You are able to regurgitate information and you're able to follow a system. But in the real world, you need to be able to think outside the box. You need to be able to have critical thinking. As a matter of fact, cousin, we was on the phone talking a little bit about this stuff about the education system and how you send your kids to school. You wonder why they come back with an attitude.
Yeah.
You send your kids to school and you wonder why they don't resemble you at all. They don't. Your influence is not upon them. They're influenced by the school and the kids and the peers there. They change. You wonder why they come back. They start out these innocent kids from kindergarten. Then by the time they're in 6th, 7th grade, you don't even recognize these kids. Like, are you my child? Who are you? Because you sent.
But it's just puberty.
You sent them to an indoctrination camp.
Yes.
And when me and cousin and NJ, we were talking on the phone yesterday about, we were talking about, why isn't school preparing our kids for the future?
Why
are we setting our kids up for failure by teaching them with an old system that is industrialism, when we're already in the AI, we're already in blockchain technology, we see where everything is going. So my suggestion with school is we need to let our kids work at their own pace. We need to start it like college. You need to load your kids up Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They don't need homework. Don't give kids homework.
Oh, I am.
All their work done in the time that they go to school. Load them up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday with electives and core courses and things like that. And then the Tuesdays and Thursdays or the Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays that they're off, let them be off. Give them a break, but load them up all day like we do in college, and get them in their curriculum. And we need to be teaching our kids more. If we want to be honest, if we want to have more influence over our kids, we need to be homeschooling our kids. I think homeschool kids are more prepared for the future and more socially, not socially awkward, but understand they have real social skills when you homeschool them, not by sending them to school. These kids you send to school, they'll be on their phone while they're in front of adults. They'll be at the dinner table on their phone. But these homeschool kids, they're interacting with their family. They're giving you firm handshakes and they're looking at you in their eye. They're actually having the leadership skills and taking on they're in their impressionable time, in their programming time. They act more like adults, more like mature adults as children than these kids that we see today who think, oh, we gotta let these kids play. They gotta give them their time to. No. Teach these kids how to be functioning adults, because that's the real world. That's the real.
Forgive me, Harvey. I'm gonna let you go after this. You all remember just the other day that video was going around? The little boy was in school and he stepped up on that I don't know if it was necessarily a security guard, but it might have been an older black guy, not old, but young black man. And little boy got up in his face and almost stepped to him like, "Man, I'm gonna knock you out." And he snatched him up out. "Man, if you don't go sit your and get out my face talking this stuff to me." See, that little boy did not have proper training. Somehow along the line, he didn't know that he could not step to a grown man like he was a grown man.
Y'all see that teacher? Y'all see that teacher that fought that kid? I'm gonna bring you up, Amar. Y'all see that? Y'all see that teacher that fought? Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna do this.
Were they in the hallway and the other kids got them off? Is that when?
Stop for Amar. I gotta go for a run anyways. I'm about to go work out.
No, I'm about to pick Amar up. I dropped the other guy.
All right, Dre, thanks a lot for coming up, man. I appreciate you coming back, bro.
It's been a pleasure, man. Great live, man. Great stuff.
Have a blessed day, Dre.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my run on, but I'm gonna be listening. I'm gonna go get my workout on, y'all.
For sure.
All right.
So there was
All right,
teacher.
Mr. Fitness.
So yeah, Mr. Fitness. There was a teacher that was fighting a student that called him the N-word. A teacher, a substitute teacher, threw some hands on this student. And my thing is, why are we as a black community, we should not be allowed. Listen, where were the students at? The black students at? They should have been on top of that other student's head for that teacher. That teacher should not have had to lose his job and go to jail for standing on business because a student called him the N-word. Where were the black students at to say, no, we're not going to let this happen? See, that's the type of mindset we got to have. That's what happens when you send your kids to school. They become one of the people holding the phones and watching it like it's black trauma, like it's black corn. Black trauma corn. That's what this is to the dominant side. This is more like I'm addicted to black people, to black on black and this stuff. No, we need to be getting involved and we need to be preventing some of these things. That teacher should not have had to lose his job because he had to stand on business because a student called him the N-word. And he gave that student the business. That student kept coming, bing, put him down. Student came back up again. Bing, 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 put him back down. You know what I'm saying? And black students were sitting there watching the whole thing. Why would you allow that to happen? That's what happens when you don't have the
That's so much out of pocket. Not
Too much. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, honestly, there needs to be brain studies that show what areas in the brain trigger when you call when that word is called by a white T person to a black, because I'm telling you, I don't think he should have lost his job, because if that triggered some type of instinct, flight or fight, some type of ancestral passed down trauma, and that caused you see where I'm going with this? Okay, now I'm trying to
Listen, we know that we are immediately gonna hit the rage button. They ain't gotta study that. They know we gonna hit the rage button.
No, you have to study it. No, I'm trying. You have to play their game. That's why I'm saying you have to study it.
They're not gonna study it though.
Hold on, let me say this real quick. Did y'all see the dude that was on top of that YT person's head for using the N-word? And he said, "I need you to tap out."
Yeah,
I want you to
they were in a convenience store. Yeah, I saw that.
The ancestors was
Nah,
coming
I
up, but
didn't see that. Send that to my DMs. I didn't see that.
He was at the job and he was like, they was like, "Get off of me." He was like, "No, I need him to tap out." And dude was not trying to tap out. He said, "Say it again. I need you to tap out." He wouldn't tap out. He's like, "No, I need you to tap out. I need you to feel helpless." Okay? On top of his head. And he wasn't even doing them as worse as he could. He was just like, bing, bing. "I need you to tap out." He was like, "Get off of me." He's like, "No, he needs to tap out." He was like, "Tap out, tap out, tap out." Man, them ancestors were telling him, "Hey, man, make him tap out. Make that brother feel helpless like we felt. Make him feel how we feel."
Okay, so it's on Twitter. What do I need to look up? To what's the key words?
I wish I knew, man. I think
somebody put it in there. Somebody
put it in the comments.
Yeah, go put it in the comments, or just go on Tariq's page. I think he's the one that posted it. I think he.
Okay.
Just go on.
You know what? Your patience has been great.
Like, I need you to tap out. I need you to tap out. Okay,
Let me
I was like,
tap
oh
in.
my god.
Let me tap in.
I even had to put a comment on there. I said, Jesus, man, the ancestors was talking to this brother. They said this brother had to tap out. He wanted him to tap out. He didn't want to beat him up. He just wanted him to tap out. Say, I give up. I'm sorry. That's all. Listen, black people, we don't want. Listen, some of us we
We
gonna get.
don't want to actually physically harm y'all.
We
We
don't.
just want to break. I want, yes, I
We
agree. I
don't.
agree too much. I agree.
We don't. Because listen, you know, there's a lot more.
Because I
If
still
we
got a
really
heart.
wanted to, yeah, if we really wanted to really wash you, we would wash you. I saw another video where there was a dude talking about, "Come on, man." He was in front of his car, and dude was like, "Man, I see you scared, man. I don't even want, man. Go, just get in your car and go home." He's like, "Come on, man. Come on, man. Come at me. Come at me." He was like, "Man, I don't really want to hurt you, white." You know, he was like, "I really don't want to hurt you, white dude." Dude was all short. He was like one of them short Armenian white dudes.
Napoleon complex.
You know,
Did y'all
short
see
dude
the
trying
one in Holly
to
Springs,
step to a
Mississippi?
black dude like all tough using the N word. He was like, "Man, I don't even want to. Just get in your car and go home, man."
Come on, Tuma, let's let Harvey get up in here because, as you said before, Harvey has
Go
shown
ahead, Harvey.
immense
I'm
patience,
sorry.
great
Go ahead,
patience.
Harvey. Great patience, brother. Go ahead, Harvey.
Great sunrise to each and every one of y'all out there this morning. And may the great high continue to bless you and your family. Now I've been listening to the conversation. And we got an issue here for real, y'all. And we got an issue here for real, y'all. I mean, I'm a 65-year-old man. Well, 65 young. I'm gonna say 65 young. So as I was coming up, and we talking about how we gonna take first of all, it's about the babies right now because we gotta educate them, right? Now, when I was coming up, telephone was a great option to have. But if you didn't have a telephone, you had your neighbors. But if you didn't have a telephone, you had your neighbors. And your neighbors will let you know, hey, you know this ain't right. You know your mama and your daddy ain't going for this. So they snatch you up by your collar, they take you on home. We ain't got no phone, so you can't call her. But by the time my daddy or my mama got home, they got the word. You see what I'm saying? Because they met one of the neighbors down there. The neighbor could have been down 4 blocks away and told the other neighbor up the street there, tell Mary, her son's down there stealing at the store. You understand what I'm saying? Now, she snatched me up already. Say, go on home, boy. You know, I'm not doing that, but still, some that thing called penny candy. And, but it was about the control of the community. Elevate. I had a lady in my community. We had to go to reading school with her every day. I didn't like her, but we had to go there anyway. But that was the educational field. That's where my people from down south, and that we had to sit there, read a book a day. They don't leave until you got the book read, and then you got to write something down what it was about. Educational. Then come back to that. We was just talking about how education. See, this is where the secret kicked in at. When you was young, you was reading James, Dick, and Bill. Sally, there's Sally, Dick, and Bill. I don't know which one it is. But that's when it started right there. That's when they start elevating and taking control of the mindset. See what I'm saying?
Let me say this, Harvey, because you're touching on something, but I want to say this. See, that village mentality has been taken out of the black community systematically. We are not allowed. It's to the point now we're not even allowed to discipline your kids because the consequences are greater. They will send you to jail. They'll send DC Child Protective Services. Adults are not. People on your block are no longer trustworthy with your kids to discipline them
Yeah,
anymore. Those consequences.
That's happening in this society. This is happening in this society. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever you've been on your block You had a bunch of kids out there, and you bring some Kool-Aid or some lemonade out there, and fix them all a cup of lemonade, and they out there hot and bothered. You see what I'm saying?
Brother,
Now,
I hear you.
when she gave that kid that lemonade, and he's out there hot and bothered, I said, I'm gonna go see Mr. Jones over there, cause Mr. Jones, he gave me some Kool-Aid in town. I'm gonna take him a soda over there. And you over there hiding bothers yourself. Now you done planted the seed to receive a fruit. And this is what it's about. We got to get back in here and till the ground up and raise our kids the way it is. I'm a father of 6 sons. You see what I'm saying? And believe
See,
me.
I would say it like this, brother. I think for that to happen, the parents are going to actually have to talk to each other like people and understand you got kids, I got kids. I'm going to watch out for yours, you watch out for mine. The next parent is going to have to do that. You go to the next parent. Now you got your whole block watching out for the kids and everybody's looking at. But that starts with the parents first coming together and letting the children know that we are a community.
Right. And this is where I was raised up. You see what I'm saying? Of course, that was 65 years ago, but still, it was a community communication.
It's very difficult to find those communities today, brother. I wish we did have those communities where everybody knew each other again. We still got, I come from
Can
I
I
come from
say
that type of
something
neighborhood.
next?
Yeah, I come from that neighborhood where we know everybody on the block, right? That's how I grew up. My dad, I say it all the time in all my life. My dad and another African dude were the only fathers on the block. I grew up in a single mother neighborhood, and we knew everybody. But that today, where can we find that today when the next door neighbor on the same block doesn't know the next door, doesn't really know people are not going to each other's houses anymore, and you can't spend it out over there. You got to stay home over here because we don't. It's like we lost that trust in our community that allow for those things that allow for us to keep our kids really safe like we want to. Go ahead, Amari.
Listen, hold on, Sean. I don't know. Somebody got like people talking in the background, and I keep it's okay. Thank you. So what I was gonna say is that I hear what y'all saying, but I think that it's misplaced. I think like I don't know when I go back home, that's how my people are still. So I don't I can I that's my anecdotal experience. I think that social media and then COVID, I don't think it's a community issue. I think that's a worldwide issue. I think that's an issue just in general. I hear what you guys are saying. I do think that it's that, but I don't think it's a race thing. That's all I'm saying. I do think that it's that, but I don't think it's a race thing. That's all I'm saying. I think that social media has done this weird thing where now people get to be social but not in person. You got to think about it. I'm 34 years old. I was born in 91. I think that I was born in a perfect time where I got to be outside and not have technology, and we got to build social skills. You had to meet your friends at the movie theater and at the skating rink. You had to go to the house parties. You couldn't just be on, TikTok and we be listening to music and twerking individually, and that you had to go to be there. You know what I mean? And I think that social media, and then I also think that COVID, I don't think that we don't trust each other. I think we trust each other now more than ever, quite frankly. I just
I would
don't think
say
that this
this.
issue
If
is a race issue. That's all. I do think it's an issue, and I think that we as a community need to address it amongst our people because why would we really worry about anybody else? But I just feel like the undertone of this feels like, oh, this is a black people issue, and it's not.
No, I
Yes.
would say this. It was a C issue, but it wasn't a COVID issue that helped destroy that communal vibe that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Because that thing that infiltrated our community in the 80s devastated us. And there's a lot of trauma within our families that has not been forgiven. So there's that unfortunate distrust that still resides in our community. That's where it came from. Now, it progressed and morphed into where it is today, but That's where we lost our communal trust. Because I can't send you over there. I can't let you go over there because this person might be doing some things that they ain't supposed to be doing.
Come on.
And I don't want you around that. So now I don't trust my neighbor. I don't trust my neighbor on the left. I don't trust my neighbor across the street. I don't trust my neighbor on the right.
And if you
That
grew up in a
happened.
neighborhood, if you grew up in a neighborhood that where there was gang violence and
Oh yeah,
drugs
I grew up in
activity,
Camden, New Jersey.
okay, so if you grew up in a neighborhood like that, you understand that, hey man, you can't go over there. You can't hang out at this time. You know, certain people we knew and identified in the neighborhood like they were up to nefarious things. You know, when trouble always happens, you already know what house is causing all the trouble. You already know what's going on. You already know when you got like 10, 12 brothers that don't live in your neighborhood, but they're hanging out at this particular block or this particular house. You know, it's very difficult. I 100% agree with what Cousin's saying. It's very difficult to bring back that trust because people are out there. You know, they have that hustler's mindset. It's actually not a good mindset.
Okay, but
That
can I
thug
say something
mindset
though?
is actually not a good mindset because it says I'm out for me. I'm out to get mine, and I don't care about what I'm doing in the community that's wrong. All I care about is getting my money and getting to this paper and making my life and the people that in my vicinity greater. That's what it says.
Yeah, so but my issue with that concept is that that's like an inner city community thing. You got to think about it. When I moved outside of Camden, New Jersey, it really opened up my eyes to realize that like a fraction of the people are really living how I was living, but it was my immediate circle. So I don't really think like that type of stuff that you're describing is exactly what I experienced in Camden. But once I moved outside of Camden and once I moved to like Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Once I moved to Carlisle, they not they've been doing that. It wasn't really like that. When I moved down south, I lived in North Carolina, South Carolina, stuff like that. And people it was a little people who wanted to be in a little GANG and stuff like that, but it wasn't like Camden, New Jersey. So that's not really the black experience.
I
That's
think
not the
you're
whole
proving
black
You
experience.
moved to
right.
more
I
affluent
think you're
areas,
proving.
correct?
I think you're proving our point, though. Is what I'm saying. I think you're actually just proving our point that what we're saying is it's difficult for us to police and really get to the kids and help them develop the way they should because if we can't just grab somebody's kid and say, hey man, stop doing what you're doing. There's consequences for that. They put consequences on us that prevent us from doing the right thing. We're afraid to go to jail. We're afraid that somebody's parent might not see it as a good thing and they might take offense to that. Oh, you touching my all these things are preventing us from doing what we need to do in our communities to fix it. That's what I'm saying. We can't really police our community like we want to because the consequences are preventing us from doing that. And they put those
I
consequences there and
understand.
they put that mistrust there. Again, it's hard to trust the person down the street, especially if he's acting kind of crackish. He's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this
And
guy.
what's so crazy is because I grew up in Camden, New Jersey, I look for the signs. You know what I mean? There's like telltale. So I get what you. God, man.
They're moving a little. They're
That's what I'm
moving a
saying.
little.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying. Like
know.
yes, I get.
So when
Oh,
you
and
see
so
that, you're
you're
like,
saying, so you're
ah.
saying the fact that I even have that instinct, like to have that type of radar, that's the inherent distrust in me to be like,
It's
oh,
like
you
you
acting
look,
kind of
you see
crackish, and
it.
I'm
You
looking
see it.
for.
It's like, oh man, you acting kind of like DMX. I love my boy DMX. I love
Yes,
DMX.
yes.
But you would see him, he'd be acting kind of crazy. Like, oh, that brother is acting kind of crazy. He's having a fit. You'll see him just one day, he'll be cool, and next minute, like, oh, no, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, you got to move like this, and he'll just be moving way too fast. He'll be like, oh, that brother, he need to go get his fit.
Oh,
He
I
need to
think
go get his
that
fit.
we're. I think that
Even
what.
Chris Brown, you just see. I saw a video with Chris Brown, and you're like, man, this dude is
yeah. He
having a
was
fit.
like, yeah. He
You
was he
know
was
this
on
dude. He just
one.
kept sneezing and coughing and just try to come back and try to become like, brother, go. Go calm down because we know you've been go calm down because we know you've been sniffing that. Go back over there and then come back on camera when you straight. it's just like you see these people, they're moving kind of like they're under the influence of something they shouldn't be under, and you notice it, and you see it in society, and if you're black, you kind of just have that radar where you know, and that's what caused a lot of the distrust in our community as well, because we don't know who's who. We can't trust it. We can't leave our. I'm from California. You don't leave your doors unlocked out here. You lock your doors up. You lock it 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not
Lock that door up.
everywhere because I live in Orange County, and there's been times where I done left my garage open
Well,
and went to the beach for the
Orange
day.
County. Orange County is
I
Orange
left my
County, man.
garage open. I came back. I went to the beach. I came home. I was like, oh my God, my garage door had been open all day.
That's Orange County, man. I'm talking about you know what I'm talking about.
Slightly
I
less
know where you
affluent regions, shall we say. You can get away with doing some stuff. I'm presently in a fairly
Orange,
secure area
Yeah, I live
when it
around
comes to that
majority
lifestyle.
Asian people. They
Orange
barely
County.
look at each other, let alone me.
Man, my next door neighbor is Asian. They the coolest people. They say hi to me and my wife
Okay,
every
so
day.
what type of Asian though? Because I think that matters. But that anyway, that's neither here nor there. I
I'm,
live around predominantly Asian people. They don't even talk to each other. Let them. They are the quietest. They literally they drive around in the car by themselves with
let me
masks
tell you
on.
something about. Let me
I
tell
would
you
say
something
it
about.
like this: they're not talking to each other in front of you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been
Let me tell
living
you.
where I live at for 8 years. I am telling you,
That
they
means they're
don't
not the
even talk
same
to
Asian.
each other. That's what, yes,
That means
yes,
they're not the same Asian.
yes,
If an Asian
yes.
doesn't talk to another Asian, that means they're not the same. They're not from the
They're
same
not the
lineage.
same. Yes.
That's all that means. You know, you're not gonna see Koreans going over to the Japanese house. You're not gonna see the Japanese going over to the Chinese house. You're not gonna see the Indonesian. They might wave at each other, but my neighbors, they man, let me tell you something, man. When they see me, they're like, do you need any help? Do you need anything? I mean, these Asians are all they kids. I don't even know their kids, but they kids
My
know me.
Korean neighbors are like that. My Korean
They,
neighbors, they be wanting me to come over. They be doing Korean barbecue. They be wanting me to, yo, I swear to God, they be fixing me a plate. They be fixing the
all
chopsticks in
they
my
see me
hands for me. They
do.
be like, hey, hold it like this. You know, they
Yeah, all
got
they see
me.
me do is wake up and go to work every day and come home. That's all they see me do is wake up, and they're like, man, you work hard. I never see you at home. They're like, yeah, I got to make money. You know, they're like, okay, man, my car broke down. Pop, the father came over. Can I help you with anything? Lift the hood. You know, I'm like, man, I got AAA coming. No, lift the. Let me see what I can fix. And you know, it's this cord that you need to put back in here. Car started, man. Man, my neighbors is cool, man. My neighbors is cool, man. But they say they go out their way to say hi to me. When Asians respect you, when they like you, they are humble people, and they show you love. Because I don't know. All I do is go to work, man. I just do what I
I
got
don't
to do.
know. Listen, I had a Korean girl because my house, I have rented out a room in my house to this Korean girl. She went to Korea, brought me back a whole suitcase full of Korean skincare, sunblock. All, yeah, I'm telling y'all, look at my, I'm just saying.
No, cut the cap
I
She,
off.
think that
no,
community appreciates kindness and
They do.
respect
gestures.
They
Yes,
above
yes.
everything else. If you show yourself to be a kind, considerate person, then they
I
look at
talk to
that and
people
say,
how I
I
know people.
can, that's my type of cat.
Yeah, I'm the type of person, you know, I mind my business. You know, I don't really bother nobody. But if I make eye contact with you, I'm going to say something to you. And if you give me that friendly eye contact back, we might have a conversation or two. We might have a conversation. I can't just stay on the block and not know nobody. But I feel people out. You know, I feel people out. If I don't feel like I need to engage with you, I'm not going to engage with you. I'm just going to mind my business, and I'm gonna hope that you mind your business, because that's the best outcome I could ever want. Mind your business. I'm gonna mind the mine. Leave me alone, and I'm gonna leave you alone, and we're gonna be just fine. That's kind of. But if I feel you out and you seem cool, like you, okay, we might have a conversation or two. We might chop it up, and I might give you some game, and I might see what's really going on with you. But other than that, I'm minding my business. I got, listen. If especially right now, if you're not of the lineage, I don't really got time for you. Now, if you have the lineage, yeah, I'll make time. You know, I'll go out my way. If I when I see black people now, let me tell you, when I see black people and I know they're of the lineage and we do that head nod thing, I'm gonna say something positive to that brother or sister. How you doing, black man? How you doing, King? How's your day going, sir? Especially older black people. When I see them, I love on them because I don't think a lot of people love on them a lot. I'm like, how you, ma'am? Do you need anything? Can I help you with something? I go out my
Listen,
way.
for real. When I see,
Out my
especially when
way.
I see older black women of my lineage, I'll grab them arm in arm. I ask them, is it
Mm-hmm.
okay? Grab them arm in arm, walk with them, with them. I don't care if I walk around the grocery store, something. I push the cart for them. I'll strike up I'll ask, do you have children? And where you from? Da, da, da. Like, I'll just inquire. It just make them, not to make them feel seen, like patronizing them, but just knowing, like, we building a connection. We exchanging information.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
are an
I
honored
want people to
elder, and I
know
am going to treat you
they're
as
not
an
alone.
honored elder.
Yeah, yeah. I want to make sure they know, hey man, we still got respect for our people out here. We're still
Hmm.
looking out for one another. If you need anything, if something happens, we coming. We come. You're not alone out here. I don't because listen, man. What I hate to see is elderly by themselves. I believe that, and this is what I truly believe. Stop kicking your kids out the house at 18. They need to stay in that home till they're 30 years old, even. Okay. You need to keep your kids and your family as close to you. Y'all need to live around each other. Y'all need to be around each other. Y'all need to protect each other because you can't do nothing if you way across town with your family. You can't do nothing if your family live two cities over or
Okay,
another
well,
city
you
over.
reading me the fuck down, okay?
Boy,
Because
you need your family. You need them there now. Listen, my dad almost passed away. Okay, my dad almost passed away. I was in Ohio.
listen, I'm not going back. So either
Yeah,
they coming out here, they need to figure out how to make it out to
I
California
that
because I'm
yeah,
not going back. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care.
I'm
You
getting
couldn't
ready to
convince
go.
me.
I'm getting ready to
Listen,
go back. I just
I
I'm
was
like
in
I don't want to be
Ohio.
buried here. I got to be buried where
Man, be
everybody
around
else
your
is.
family.
Yeah,
Be around your family. Bring your
yeah.
family close to you. When you have children, keep them in the house. Help them save money. Help your kids at 18 years old be able to save $1,000 a month like it's a religion. By the time 5 years later, if they save $1,000 a month, they'll have $60,000 in cash. Let them go out there and make money and get a job, but make sure you teach your kids to save $1,000 and do not touch it. Because the moment think about this, by the time they're 28, by the time they're 30 years old, if they religiously save $1,000 a month, they'll have something like $160,000 that they can use right now to do whatever they want to. $100,000 is the beginning of wealth. $100,000 cash is the beginning of wealth. It's not wealth, it's the beginning. Set your kids up for the future. Let them get a job. Don't overcharge your kids. Make them pay a bill because they need responsibility, but don't overcharge your kids. Keep them home. That's your protection. That's the family. That's the communal thing that we're losing. We're trying to go off and get our own too quickly when we need to really just have that compound mentality. We need to build a compound, build the house, and get you some land and put your family on that land and build it up and be a strong black family in that neighborhood. That's what we need to do. All this moving across country and living far from just I got to get my house. I got these immigrants are coming over here 12, 13, 14 deep in one house and they're all getting cars and they're all getting
So
houses
I
and they're
think
all living
I
next to
I
each other.
hear
They're
I
buying the
hear
house
what you're
next
saying.
door and the house around. They're doing it right. We need to do it better because we actually come from that before we got segregated. When it was just us and we were segregated, we hung out with each other. But this integration thing, we've taken it too far to where we don't even support we don't have our own stores
Okay.
anymore. We don't have our own businesses really like that. I live in California. It shouldn't be that hard for me to find a black owned anything. But sometimes I got to go across town to find something black that's black owned.
So
I
I
think
do agree
what we're
with that
doing.
point, but I don't agree with moving. I moved. There was nothing good for me in Camden, New Jersey, respectfully. After I had a child, I looked around in my immediate environment and I'm I'm I decided to move. I think that it was the best thing at the time for me and my child. what I would hope for is that I wish that my aunts and uncles and my family members that grew up in Philly and Camden, New Jersey, that have everything that they need in a 2 block mile radius would expand their horizons. I got family members who've never even been on an airplane. And y'all can't lie and say that y'all don't have family members like that either, especially if you grew up in a community in a city like I. We have this thing where we have an undying connection to the hood, and that's not and it doesn't serve us. We need to be able to explore new horizons. We need to be able to, some people, if you want to be a farmer and you live in the inner city or you live somewhere like that, it's not going to work for you. You need to be able to move somewhere where the land is tillable. Things like that. Like, so
I got
so
a
you
question
don't
for
got to
you.
stay where you at. What I'm saying is it does need to be communal and you need to have a family, but we also need to get out of this deadlock mindset of staying in this 2, 3, 4 block mile radius because we come
I
from the
hear
hood.
that. I hear that too, but I'm like this. You know, now that I know you're in Orange County, you got protection out here. If you need something, I'm here. I'm right around the corner. I'm not too far. I'm 40-minute drive. Okay, I'm a 40-minute drive from where you at. So if you need me and my wife,
Yeah,
we
I'm in
coming.
Long Beach right now.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, Long Beach, okay, Strong Beach, okay, but look, we're right around the corner. So now that I know that my people is out here, I want all our people to know. Look, we gotta look out for each other. We gotta see if I dip in certain states now, I know my people are there and they got my back. I know I can call this person up if I'm over here. Cousin gonna tell me where I need to go, what I need to avoid, what I need to do. I know where my people's at because that's what I'm looking for. I need to know that I'm safe. I need to know that I'm not out here by myself, and we need to make sure that each other know that you're not out here by yourself. Now we not I'm not no millionaire. I can't but how I can help you, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna do what's in my power. My dad taught me this: a friend in need is a friend indeed. You know who your friends are when they actually help you.
And I
I
think
get it. You can pray for me too, but if you can help me, then I know you really got me. But send me a prayer, but also help me too. Put some clothes on my back, put some food in my mouth, point me in the right direction. Put me up on game about something. Don't just say I got you in my prayers. Do something. Put some action behind that prayer. That's all I'm saying. We need to make sure our people know that we got their back. We are our brother's keeper. If we can keep that mindset, and that goes right back to the code of honor, the FBA code of honor. We got to look out, man. We all we got. We are all we got.
I think everything that y'all been talking about for the last like 15 minutes or whatever, we're getting back to that. Like the community, it's like we're slowly getting back to that with this whole like identifying, delineating and leaning into our culture and heritage as FBA. We're getting back to that. It's gonna be, slow rolling, but we're getting back to it. Just like what you just said, too much, and what you just mentioned to Amari and how you mentioned cousin. I'm in Maryland. Y'all ever out here, let me know. But we do, to your point, I think we do have to kind of, I'm ready. I have to move back. I'm ready to move back down south. I wish I'd have left a long time ago, but it's time for me to go. It's something that is just pulling me. Feel like that, like my mom, the ancestors are like, you got to get out of this state. That's where I'm at right now. I have to get out. I wake up every day, anxiety, like I have to get out of here. And so that's what I'm working today. Anxiety, like I have to get out of here. And so that's what I'm working on right now. Hopefully I'll be out of here in the next like 12 months, but I gotta go.
Get back. We got to get back to our roots. We got to get back to our people, man. We gotta start loving on each other. All this, man. Listen, man. The best thing you can do.
I'm trying to convince my family to move out here. They won't fly. They won't come. They
You
won't
know why?
even come
You know why
visit.
people
Listen,
don't
too
want to move
much. I'm
out
gonna tell
here?
you. Listen, no, no. I'm gonna tell you what. You want to know what my brother said? Y'all gonna hate me because I think you know what my brother said. He said I ain't going nowhere where the ain't at. He won't come to Orange County. It ain't no there. It ain't enough
Listen, I
there.
understand. Believe it or not, Mark, I understand what you're saying because I have traveled around the country quite a bit, and my family, prior to my existence, I can only say it like this: I am number 7 in my family. My father was born in 1929. Looking at my father's history and heritage, what they did as a family unit, they were a part of the Tulsa, Oklahoma incident. When that incident occurred, they moved as a family away from there. They didn't just say, I'm getting out of here. They moved to these other states as a family. Now, when they decided this situation was untenable, it wasn't, I'm leaving. It's, we getting ready to go over here and get up out of this spot because it's not working for us.
Well,
So I
that took a
understand when your
collective
brother says,
mindset.
I understand when your brother says, I'm not going nowhere where it ain't enough black folks, because I don't use the N word, okay? But the idea is going somewhere where you know that you have somebody who has your back. You want that protection.
Me,
Because for
me.
us,
I'm his sister.
Thank you,
I'm his
Boosie.
sister, and I have his niece here. He has a daughter. I told him to bring his daughter and his partner and him. I tried to get my mom. I tried to get my other sister. I literally have space for everyone. And I told them I don't care if I had to buy air mattresses and they slept on the couches as long as we were all together and we were saving money and doing all of this. The living situation would be whatever to me. It would be where we live to sleep.
Man, see, I love to hear stuff like that because a lot of
So,
times black people
but
ask those things.
they won't fly. They don't want to leave where they're at. And
Go get a go
and
get a
listen. Hold on. Let me just say this one last thing. If 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 I waited to move for everybody to be ready, y'all can't even travel. We can't even travel together, let alone everybody getting on the same page. So I'm so glad, cousin, that you had that experience where it's like, oh, back in the day, the whole family moved together and da 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 da. Listen, I would not be the woman I am today if I waited on my family to be ready to move with me. Respectfully.
No, I can
bring them
respect
out
that.
there. Go get a like Winnebago and just drive them out and drive them back and just let them kind of just take a road trip. That'll be great. That would be amazing from the East Coast to
that's
the
what I
West
was thinking. If
Coast
they not gonna
and
fly,
just
they got
drive them
wheels.
out. Let
Right.
them see.
It
Let
take
them
No,
four or
it's
5 days,
not.
but they'll
No,
get there.
it's not that they just won't fly. I'm telling you, they don't. Listen, I went snorkeling. They told me, come on, man,
Well,
I ain't
just
about to.
just bring. People got to take baby steps. Just kind of like just hey, just come out. Don't try to put it all on them at once. Hey, just come out here, visit. See how you like it, and then
I hear
She
what you
said they
guys are
scared to
yeah.
visit.
saying.
They scared to visit. They see. I hear you, Amara. I really do, and I'm not
No,
saying
I
that
hear
you're
what you
wrong.
guys are
I'm
saying, but I
saying
just feel like I have more of a Dick Gregory spirit, and I hear how you. I love the love and the gentleness and the I love it, but I feel like we're not in the season to be um pity patting and cupcaking anymore. Like it took me to wake up one day and have an epiphany and look at my immediate surroundings and be like, I literally had like a moment in a movie where it's like you see two different lives flash before your eyes, and you have right now to make a decision on that on that split path. That's what I have for me. And I understand that maybe not everybody has that, but since I had that, I don't have the little, oh, well, maybe you could just little breadcrumb it. Like, no, do you want to be a catalyst or not? Do you want to break generational curses or not?
I would say just keep. Like you said, you had to do what you had to do, but just hey, why don't y'all come to visit? Just keep at them. Maybe they'll eventually come out and never go back, or
be the
come out and just be
lighthouse
like,
that you are.
yeah,
That's what you
yeah,
do.
just
Be the
keep doing
lighthouse
that.
that you are. You're right. Somebody's got to be first to go out there and say, "Listen, check this out. Y'all need to get out here and get away from that toxic atmosphere." But that takes an individual to step out, as you did, to be that lighthouse. Just show them. Come on, I got you. They just have to have enough trust in you and
Right.
what you are building.
Hmm.
And they don't, then you don't take responsibility for that because you've done all that you can do. You
Well, here's the
moved
thing.
the goalposts for them.
Here's the thing about family, and I love family, but we got to understand that we can all grow up in the same house. Like, if I'm being honest, me personally, I don't get along with my family members. because I stand on business. I speak my mind. I'm not, I'm too much like my dad. I'll just say it like that. I'm too much like my dad. I don't care about public opinion. I don't care about what people think about me. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's not always popular because your family member, they look at you differently than the world. Like my friends respect me 10 times, 1,000 times way more than my own family members because they look at me from when I was I guess when I was a kid. I don't know how to explain it. But and there's all kind of jealousy and envy going on. I found out later on that even my own family members, they were jealous of me because they thought I was my dad's favorite. And trust me, when I grew up, I did not think I was my dad's favorite. I thought everybody else was I thought my dad favored everybody else over me because he was really hard on me. So all that stuff plays into, siblings and things like that. So I could kind of understand, and I just wish, I just wish it was different. I wish it was different. I wish families, your blood is your blood. That's the first people y'all need to have camaraderie with. And I just feel like going to school messed that up. Imagine if I was homeschooled with my family, how much closer and tighter we would be. When you go to school, you start having all these different personalities come in and you start changing. And again, I keep telling you, you come back and you despise the people that raise you, despise the people that do for you, become entitled and take for granted everything. Homeschool kids, I don't see that in them. I don't see homeschool kids.
Can I ask you a question too much when you said that? Like, you know what? That I feel like that with my kids and they're adults. And it's like I don't even know these people. I swear. And it's so hard. Like, oh my gosh, it's something that I'm struggling with, like at this moment to this day, and it's just really hard. It's like, who are you? Like, who are you? Right? Like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
it's so
why
hard.
do your kids have to find themselves when they already have an identity and you are? It's like
Right.
you already know who you are. Why do you have to try to find yourself out there? You are what I tell you are. You're this.
Right.
You come from this stock. And it's like, man, we've been bamboozled with this school system, y'all. It actually destroys families. It doesn't bring them together.
Right.
It causes what's the word I'm looking for? It causes independent thinking and independent people in one home.
Yep.
Imagine if the home had a camaraderie and we all had, not that we necessarily think the same, but we're all on the same page. We're all on the same frequency when we think. We all have the same care for one another that we should. Why would why should my friends mean more to me than my immediate family? And that's usually what happens when you send your kids to school. All the social skills you think your kids are getting going to school, they're actually becoming more antisocial and more Facebook and social media social than anything else.
All right, family, let's get these likes up to 30,000. Let's get these likes up to 30,000.
Let's get the likes up to 30,000. But I see so many people looking at their phones while they're around adults. Why are we allowing that, and why are we doing that? Why don't we know what to say? Why don't we know how to spark a conversation? It's because, man, we've all under the same propaganda and witchcraft and indoctrination coming out of that school system. It just is what it is. And we gotta call it out, and we have to do something about it.
Right. I think like I tried to explain to them, and again, like they're like in their 30s and in their mid 20s. It's like there were things that I didn't question my parents about, because these things were unchanged from their parents teaching them, like in terms of like literally, just to sum it up, just the FBA mentality. Like moving on code, like it's certain thing, like it's just a thing, it's just something that you do, and it's not questioned. Understanding white society, these things aren't questioned. You don't question these things. You take my word for them. This is it. There's no questioning about that. That it is what it is, and then you build up your life around that. You don't question what I'm saying to you right now. And I think that for me and my husband, I don't know if that was it. I guess we didn't lean into that enough. Because that's the problem that's the problem that I'm having right now. It's like, I don't know who these people are. I'm confused. Like, who are they? And it's really, as a parent, it's really, I feel like I failed Not even gonna lie.
Disheartening quite a bit.
Yeah.
You didn't fail. You didn't fail. But I want y'all to understand that, they tell us what they're doing in these movies. Have you ever seen the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever seen the movie Children of the Corn?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what's happening to our children, people. They cloned Tyrone. Go back and watch that 6-7 times. Okay, if you don't really understand what's happening, why every neighborhood you go to, they have the same brother on the same block doing the same exact thing, man. They're imaging. That's why when they showed that average black woman or Jamaican mammy woman that they had in New York, that's witchcraft. That's propaganda. They're using imaging to subdue us. They're trying to tell us that's an ordinary black woman. No, that's not. No, that's not. We actually have more beautiful body, everything looking women than we have that woman that they showed there. And I'm not, there may be some of our women that look that can resemble that, and I get that. I'm not downing that, but I'm saying the imaging is everything. We have iconic people that they could have put up there and showed the greatness of our lineage, not the greatness of an immigrant, because I believe that those are immigrants, and I think the guy that did all those statues, he is from an immigrant background.
Yep.
He's not foundational. So
Biracial.
and I also point out another thing: why when they show pictures of our women, understand when they show statues of our women, go Google this. Why they always got to show statues of our women with their hands on their hips? I want y'all to go look at how many statues that they have of black women with hands on their hips.
I gotta.
But when you look at their statue, they're in some type of pose or gesture,
some posture, right? Some regal posture.
Mm-hmm. They're showing themselves in a position of power and authority.
You see,
whereas they're showing the woman as just what's next.
I am.
We have to pay attention to that, man. That stuff is.
I'm gonna give you the symbolism of it. I'm gonna give you the symbolism. And I'm not sure if you have sisters or cousins that you were close to, but I am. Could you stand with your hands on your hips as a child, talking to your elders?
No, absolutely not.
Right. Because what was that considered? Being grown,
disrespectful.
being fat? Yes. Yep. And so when that's what we were talking about, too much, that pose. And then you notice it's associated with from the other people as being angry. That's what I heard them say, right? But for us, I understood the disrespect of it. Like, if you stand like that to your elders, oh my God, you're liable to get in trouble. If they believed in spanking, depending on how many times you did it too, because they ain't gonna tell you something more than once, maybe twice, depending on their temperament.
And here's what else:
So yeah.
if you saw your grandmother with her hands on her hips, what did you know?
Oh, it was about to be. It wasn't.
Somebody was in trouble. Trouble.
So why are we allowing that image of our black woman to be that? What if you look at the Statue of Liberty, the real Statue of Liberty that they have in France? Go look at that statue. That's a black woman. That's something that you'd want to aspire to be and look like. The Statue of Liberty that we have now, that's supposed to be a black woman, that's a man.
Right.
By the way.
I didn't know that.
Oh, go look. Oh, yeah, go look it up. Oh. See, this stuff it's like, I keep telling you, there's hidden knowledge and then there's forbidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge is locked away in the Vatican. You're never going to see it. But forbidden knowledge is right in front of your dang face. It's all these symbols and these signs that you don't even know what's going on. And they're using it to subdue you and control you. And they're empowering themselves, and they're taking away your power. They're taking away your frequency power, and they're giving themselves frequency power.
Well,
you have to understand.
I just wanted to commend you for having a good panel. Nobody's cussing anybody out or fussing. And it seems like a safe space. I'll be back if welcome. And I am unapologetic. I heard you when I was getting dressed, and I too had that a conversation with my son, and I don't know if it was cousin speaking about keep your kids home. Was that you, or was that
It
too
was
much?
too much, but yeah.
I believe that. I believe that, and that's what I'm trying to work on, and not have, especially males, feel embarrassed of saving their money so they could buy a house. But the way you put it was they could buy a house. But the way you put it was excellent, and I'm trying to build a step on that in my nonprofit, step up and do something, because I think that is the key. Right now my youngest son chose to stay in California, and the girl Amari who left, it's just like so many similar situations. My son do not want to move to St. Louis. He's in the Silicon Valley trying to make a name for himself, but he's only 21. And when we left, he was so young, and I just feel I didn't have enough time. My heart breaks that he doesn't want to live at home to save his money to buy a home, and he would rather pay $4,000 rent. I do not understand that. I can never.
Imagine how much money that brother could be saving and really have a future secured.
How do I
We got to
get
preach
through
savings like
him?
it's no tomorrow.
I
Listen, the
can't.
minimum
Not.
everybody needs to be saving. The minimum everybody needs to be
Thousand.
saving is $1,000 a
I
month.
love it. I love it.
Bare
I think
minimum.
that should be. And I was gonna say, could you either when I get my families together, either you help develop that step, because I really want to make it
I
a
have an
model.
app. I have a budget. I'm working on a budget app. It's actually finished, but I'm just fine tuning it. I'm gonna put a budget app, and I'm gonna put it on the Apple Store and the Play
Okay,
Store.
I
And you guys can
definitely want
download it.
to.
It's gonna be 99 cents. Okay, it's just
I
gonna be
want to
99
spread
cents,
that. I
and you can
definitely.
download this budget app, and you're gonna type in your stuff, and it's very pictorial and very it's simple to use, but it's also needed. And you can just type in all your expenses, and it's gonna show you, okay, you have this shortfall, and it's also gonna tell you what you can do to, no matter what income you make, what you can do
Right.
to save $1,000 a month at any income level. It may tell you need to make more money. It may tell you need to get another job. It may tell you need to do this, but it's going to give you the instruction on where your shortfall is and what you need to do and where your surplus is. Okay, and then
I think
eventually
that is
I'll do some other stuff with the app and maybe show people what to do with that surplus and things like that, or where to put it at. But the main thing is get in the habit of saving $1,000. Do that like a religion. Don't touch it. I mean, 1,000 after you have your play money or whatever you want to do. Minimum what our people need to be making is in the $4,000 to $6,000 a month. You need to be at
exactly.
minimum. If you're not making $4,000 to $6,000 a month minimum, you need to work a little harder.
And you need to come home.
Yeah.
'Cause I
And you
do
know
think
what?
they are
Step up.
protection.
To your point, like my daughter, she's still at home, and she had, we've always done that. Like when my son graduated college, their credit scores was in the sevens, because it's like, no, we're not getting credit cards. You're not getting student loans. We did,
Yeah.
pay for all of that. So setting them up so that they would be able to, start out with good credit and, having job, savings and things like that. It's just that, like I said, the thing to Too Much's point, it's like, those outside influences, that's
Exactly.
where the problem is. But I would say, just keep stay in contact with your son, encourage him, and maybe eventually he'll get tired of paying $4,000 a month and say, you know what, let me come out to St. Louis, find me a spot out there, and bring what I've learned in Silicon Valley there, and make it pop there.
That's what I told them. The houses, you can buy a house and pay 400, 500 mortgage. And
Listen, when I was 18, I moved out of my father's house. Okay, when I was 18, I did it wrong. My dad didn't kick me out. He just had strict rules. He had strict rules. I remember what made me move out of my dad's house. My dad was a single father. What made me move out of my dad's house is I wanted to bring women over to the house. And
Yeah,
my,
we gotta change that. So that's what I'm gonna work with you on, cause yeah, you know we got them standards. So
I mean, it is what it is. Hey, hey, man. Listen,
Ain't nobody getting
I was
laid in
a
this house
very,
but me.
I was exactly. Listen, man.
yeah, we
I was a
gotta
very
change.
vocal kid. Listen, I tried to game my dad up. I said, man, look, man, we both mans. I tried to come in like that. My dad was not having it, man. I was like, man, what's wrong with you? So I moved out, did the college thing, did what I had to do out there, and then, man, I was just like, that was the wrong thing to do. I listen, man. I watched all my friends, because I played football. I watched all my friends that their parents were paying for their dorm. They didn't have to work. I had to have a job, man. I suffered out there. I had to have a job, go to school, and play football at the same time, man, just to support myself because I was hard headed. I didn't want to listen to my dad, even though my dad gave me the game. My dad gave me the game. He said, as long as you abide by my rules, you can stay under my roof. You can, I want you to be successful. And I just chose, hey, man, I'm not going to abide by those rules, man. I think I'm grown now. I think I got this.
So have
All
you
right, family. We need 4,000 more likes to kick this thing up to 30,000. Let's get that
have you
4,000 in there.
figured out too much how to, because I really want to help support families that do kick their kids out if they, your testosterone at 18 is very high. How do parents who have strict rules like that compromise to make this? I think that's the
I
key
would say
to our
this:
community work.
let me help you out. There is no compromise.
No
Men,
compromise.
you got to practice. You got to practice what I call dick discipline. You have to practice it. You should not be dating. You should be courting these women. You should be failing. You need to be suffering. In your from 18 to 29, it should not be a picnic for any man. It should be suffering, 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 because that's how you learn. Men learn through failure. We're never going to become men at the level that women want us to become men. You wonder why older men are looking back for younger women? Because that's when they became a man. It takes time. We're boys until we develop into a man. We have to develop, and let's be real. School is actually stunting the growth of men. School is emasculating the men. The man can't be a man in school because the school it's not designed for that. It's designed actually to emasculate the man and prop up the woman. That's what school is, even in college. So it's like we don't learn to become that leader that we're supposed to be. We don't get enough lessons because we're not failing enough. That's why I tell people, man, listen, you better tell your kids no. Don't tell them yes. You tell them yes, they become entitled to everything. You give them the answers, they'll be looking for the answers. They'll be looking for you to give them the answers for the rest of their life.
Okay, so you're saying you commend your dad for not letting you bring women in the house.
You know what I
hated my
found
dad
out is that they
growing
were
up.
always right. The parents, you just didn't like the delivery. You didn't like the
Always.
delivery. Always right. You just didn't like the delivery.
My dad was not a baby boomer. My dad was born in 1942. My dad had the old
Yeah,
life.
my dad too. My parents too. Yep.
My dad had the old, and let me tell you what else. Listen, I got the best of my dad. I didn't get my dad in his 20s. My dad didn't have me in his 20s. I didn't grow up with my dad.
Same.
My dad was a man when he had me. My dad was 39 years old when he had me.
Right.
So all the smoking and all the foolishness, all the drinking, he had stopped that already. He had matured as a man, and he was able to really. He didn't raise me with the Easter Bunny. He didn't raise me with Christmas. None of that stuff. He taught me the truth of life. I got the real lessons, and I hated him for that because I saw my peers out there having a good time, and their parents was. Man, listen. The one thing I can say that I did love about my dad didn't have a curfew because he didn't need to have a curfew with me. I knew what time I was supposed to be home. He didn't have to enforce a curfew because he knew that he instilled in me greatness. He said, He said, my last name is Maxie. He said, you are a Maxie. You're part of us. You walk like this, you talk like this, you move like this, you represent me. And he did that from when I was 3 years old up. He instilled in me, we don't get less than A's and B's in school. That's what my dad told me. and everything was about upholding that standard. He set a standard, and just it's like I didn't have to worry. He didn't have to worry about it because he always knew I was going to meet the standard, and that was the standard.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
I could be like, oh, my dad was too hard on me, and I could say I didn't like him growing up, but I respect. One thing you never gonna say. I may not have loved my dad like I was supposed to or loved him, but I respected the hell out of him.
Right.
So I'm not apologetic, or I am unapologetic. I
Just
think
you can just say I am. That's fine.
Oh, I am. I'm sorry.
No
I
problem.
think what we did with our kids is raise them not like our parents. If that's what I thought I heard you say that.
Yeah.
When my son is 30, he'll be 34, 35. So when he raised his voice at me, we're talking about growing our businesses, both of us. But I told him, when you raise your tone, I can't listen to you. You can't raise your voice to me. But he was complaining about how I homeschooled them. And I didn't let him go out and play. I said, but did I ever beat you? Did I ever? No, you didn't do that. But all this school stuff. You know, and I'm like, I was just thinking to myself, had he known how I was popped in the lip multiple times, just for being able to express myself. Those days, I tried so hard not to raise my kids like I was raised, but just the disrespect, the way they think they could just talk to me. Sometimes I just stay silent because I did this. I did this differently than my parents.
Right. You know what I would say to that?
Most of our parents, elder parents, came up under corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And that corporal punishment aspect, although sometimes vicious, it really did instill significant amount of discipline. And that is the thing that most of our younger parents, unfortunately, decided that they were going to do without. And so their children didn't get that pop in the mouth because they picked that thing up in the store when you told them don't pick that thing up in the store.
But do you know?
They got to talk any kind of way to their parents.
My son at almost 35 don't even know that life. And I'm like, what did I do? Because he don't even know that you got to talk to certain people a certain way to get them to pay attention to you. So he eventually showed me something that I really.
They gonna learn. No, listen. Once they're 18, they're out into the world. Trust me, they're gonna learn. Experience is not always the best teacher because the experience can unalive you, but experience is still experience. You're gonna get the knowledge. You're gonna find out. You're gonna mess around and out. And as long as you survive, that's the key. As long as you survive, you'll learn the lesson because the lesson is gonna keep coming back around until you learn it.
Very respectful kid, but we are trying to help him save his money so he can buy his house. He refuses to date in the basement, but I am telling him he can date. Is that wrong? He's like 30. He could bring women here. I don't mind. We are roommates.
He's 30. He's 30. I guess it is what it is, but
it's time to go. Time to go.
It's time to go. Yeah.
It's been time. It's been time if you're 30 years old, but I hear what you're saying. But I'm like, I wish we had those houses that we used to have, and then those back houses, and we had those big old lots that we used to have, and we can just build multiple things on them, because that's really, to me, the best scenario. You know, if you go to Quakertown or Middleton, Ohio, they have these farms out there, and these big acres of land, and their children get married and stay stay on that plot. You know, there's such a tight knit community. I went to a church out there. And I walked into a church like I never listen. I was looking for another church, and because that church had left and went to another church, they had some on the door saying, "Oh, we left and we went somewhere else." I said, "Well, shoot." Some on the door saying, "Oh, we left and we went somewhere else." I said, "Well, shoot. We done drove 2-3 hours to make it out here into no." And we walked in on that church. It was me and two Puerto Ricans, a Puerto Rican girl and her son, and me. And we walk into this church, and I kid you not, the pastor was preaching, and there was women on one side with bonnets and men on the other side, all dressed like Quakers. We all walked in that thing, and the pastor stopped in mid-sentence, and everybody looked back at us. And then somebody rushed up to us. Yeah, I mean, like it was like a shock, a culture shock for them. They rushed up, and they immediately told me, "Hey, you need to sit over on this." They didn't reject us. You gotta sit on this side. You gotta sit on this side. And when that church service was over, every person in that church shook my hand, from women and children to men. They shook my hand. Every person in that church invited me to their house. When they found out the pastor invited me to the house, they said, "Great, we'll all just show up there." They took me, white folks. They took me to their house. They fed me. They fed me home cooked meal, home biscuits that was like this big, and just everything was like organic, came from the farm. Took me around on his whole acre lot on these 3-wheelers, these 4-wheelers. We were driving around, and he took me around all his lot. Water from a well, and everybody at the church was. Where do you live? Oh, I live right around the corner. I own the lot next door. I own this next door. All these people were from the same community. They were a community,
Right.
and they were and what I noticed, they didn't have any television in their home. Zero propaganda or witchcraft coming through them. They just had a community, and they were so interested in me. I was they didn't want me to leave. They tried to get me to spend the night. I said no. I got to get up out of here, because at the end of the day, when it's nighttime, I don't trust white folks. Y'all
say it again.
Right now. But when it started getting that little dark, I'm like, oh, we got to get up out of here, because I don't know what craziness is gonna happen after that. So I said, man, look, I love that. Out of here, we gotta get.
Right.
But they were so hospitable, so nice. It was a community. They were so interested in what's going on in the world. I was like their television for that day.
Wow. Now
Now, was this an Amish community, brother?
It was a Midianite. They were Midianites. If you go Google, look up Midianite. They're the ones they drive the car. They had cars. They drove cars, but they dressed like Quakers. They made their own clothes. They had their own store. They had their own livestock and food. And I was like, well, I asked him, how do you know when the work is done? He said, well, oh brother, you just keep working, and when you feel tired, you rest. You always know there's going to be work tomorrow, so you don't really have to rush. You just get what you can done and do some more tomorrow. They were farmers.
Yeah. And you know, that's how, to your point, that's how a lot of black people grew up. Like my dad, his side, they had land. My grandmother, his sisters, like besides my dad and his other sister, they all lived right there, with the exception of a couple of them that were in New York. I mean, California, but it was a lot of them that lived right around each other. And my brother's wife, they had a compound. They called it the Hill. Everybody on that land, they all were related. And that's where that's where they lived. So I love that communal, everybody in one spot living.
We're missing out on that. There was a time where you couldn't go to another town without your family coming with you. They sent somebody with you to watch your back.
Right.
You was taking your cousin, you was taking your brother, you was taking somebody. Your uncle was going to go down there, and he was going to stay with you for at least 6 months until you got settled. Yep. They wouldn't just let you move alone. And now we just let our children just go anywhere. Go across. You couldn't. There's no other time you couldn't even go to college in another state without bringing somebody in your family with you.
Or going to the college because, you can go there because such and such is there. Or it's family there.
To know somebody. Yeah. When are we going to go back to that? We should know people. We got to get to know our community, our people more. So we know, hey, listen, I keep telling you, we all we got. Nobody going to have our back. The African ain't going to love us like we want to. The Caribbean ain't going to love us like we want to. The Hispanic, the Asian, the white, they're not going to love us like we want to.
Yeah, I think we're doing right.
We got to extend that black privilege to ourselves.
Right.
We have to start.
We got to get back to the basics. Get back to the basics.
Yeah, the foundation. We got to go back to the foundation. We got to go back to the things that we know always worked and are time tested. We don't got to invent. We don't got to reinvent the wheel. Dr. Claude Anderson gave us the pathway to what we need to do. We just got to follow his playbook. He gave us the 3 pillars. He told us how to get our community back, how to build this communal system that we long for and we needed like yesterday. He told us how to do it. We don't got to reinvent the wheel. We just got to follow the blueprint. We got the blueprint. Dr. Claude Anderson gave us the blueprint, y'all. And when we follow the blueprint, that's when I believe reparations is coming. That's when I believe reparations is going to happen quickly because we're codified. When we're scattered like this and we start voting for people who look black but are not black, that's what messes up. We can no longer have these people in our business. We have to go back in the day where your parents say, I don't know this family. Who are they? We have to go back.
Yes. Yep. Who are your people? Wait. Yes.
Who are your people? One thing, we always know who our people because our family told us. They told us, oh, that's your cousin and them around the corner. So don't, they said, don't, they even told you, don't date.
Right.
No, somebody can tell me first who they are, so I make sure they not related to us.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go back to that. We got to go back and say, who are your people? Where they come? Because once we know your people, now we know how to deal with you.
Right. Yep.
Now
and that was always like a fear. That was always a worry of mine, leaving Alabama. And then settling in Maryland. Like, I don't know, like I have a cousin up here, but like, I don't know your people. Like that's what we want. We don't know your people because that's going to tell us everything we need to know.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, if you from the South, I'm going to just be honest with you. If you from the South, you are indigenous to the land.
Right.
You ain't from no Africa.
Right.
You ain't from no Africa. You can't find one living ancestor relative that's from Africa. If you from the South, you come from the copper-colored people. You come from the misclassification. And yeah, you were in slavery. I'm sorry. You were enslaved. Your people, not everybody, but majority of y'all was enslaved. But if you from the South, and you had anybody in your birth certificate that said colored, I can almost guarantee 99.9% of the time you're indigenous to the slave. And right. We always looked out for each other. We always did. We may have took off our communal robes and put on suits and ties and shirts. That's it. We opted into the system unbeknownst to us of what it was going to be for our people. We had a great time after the Reconstruction period until they removed the troops out, and then they took advantage from here on out. They let us run for like 10, 15 years. They let us run. And when they saw the greatness that we were bringing in just a short amount of time, they had to cut the water faucet off. They had to cut it off.
Back to the base.
So you're right.
When they saw during the Great Depression that
we were thriving,
them black dollars, them people over there, they ain't worried. They ain't freaking out. They ain't panicking. They are actually thriving and surviving. Why? Because we were not attached to their system.
Listen, people, during their Great Depression, do you know that that's when we were really gaining our wealth in this country during their Great Depression. And it got them so mad. Them poor white folks got so mad that they had to, the Klan became on the rise, and they started terrorizing our community to the 10th power.
Those are the time periods that we lost our black communities. It was during the Great Depression era.
I'm so glad that my father was born in 1942, and he still had the memories of his mother and everything that his ancestors told him, man, because my dad would tell me these stories, man. You know, you get them stories. I walked 10 miles in the snow barefooted to school. You know, I was tired of hearing that. I was tired of hearing that. We only had one pair of shoes, and I had to share with my brother, and I went to school bare. I was tired of hearing those stories, man, but I'm so glad I got them.
just to know how grateful that information was.
Man,
Like now,
man, you need to be
yeah,
grateful for what you got because when I was a kid, I
right.
didn't have this. My dad drilled that in me. Be grateful for what you got because I didn't have this. I was working at 4 years old, son. You know, I was bringing home money to support the family at 4 years old. I had a job. My dad would tell me that. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that shit. Shut that up, man.
Let me speak on that. Let me speak on that because I have 6 sons, right? And like I said, they be want to go to the store, right? They want to go to the Foot Locker and well, the other store was. And I just tell them, boy, you don't know, man. My mama had me just one pair of skis on. If you want some $100 tennis shoes, I said, where's skis? The ones, the plastic ones.
No $100 tennis shoe. Let me tell you something, man. Every name brand shoe I had to buy growing up, I ain't gonna lie, I stole it. I did a run out.
Oh my God. Repent.
I'm to be honest because I didn't want to. You know, that's one thing my dad didn't understand. I can't go to school and get clown, Dad. Don't. I can't. I gotta get some new school clothes. I gotta look fresh. Now, mamas understood that. Our mother. See, I didn't grow up with a mother, but our mothers understood we can't send our kids to school looking crazy. We ain't gonna be clowning my kids. Okay.
Right.
But my dad had no. He had no care in the world, so I had to do what I had to do, so I didn't get clowned. You know. And that's why if you want to kick the dozens with me, I'm going to give it to you because, man, I had the dozens kicked on me and I learned how to defend myself. So when these tellers come in the room, I'm going to give them everything I got. And you're not going to win. I'm going to roast you. Because I remember I was roasted.
I'm going to go get y'all all some Converses now. And then if the last crack on your shoes, y'all all fighting. One fight, we all fight. Y'all fight.
Man.
Now, go do that. And come on back home.
Man, I got clowned growing up when I was a kid. Oh yeah, man. I remember I went to school with some new clothes on one time, and they said, "Did you win the lottery?" They said, "Oh, you won the lottery. Look at y'all, he won the lottery." Because my sisters dressed me up. My sisters was like, "Man, we can't have this brother going. You know, my sister was older than me, so it was like we can't have this brother coming to our school and he looked like this. We got to do something. We got to put some deodorant on him because I didn't know how to wear deodorant. They said, "Got to put some deodorant on him. We got to dress them up." So they dressed me up for the first day of school. I went to school, and people thought I won the lottery.
One thing about it, as FBAs, you were always put together. No matter how much money you had, or how little or how much money you had, you were gonna look presentable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, man. So I ain't gonna lie, man. I had to do a couple runouts every now and then, to get some. Or I had to get a job mowing somebody's lawn so I can get some money.
Boy, I used to keep them on the yard. Stay on somebody's yard. Pull somebody's weed. Hit somebody.
I had to dig ditches in people's backyards and build ponds. I mean, for money because my dad. It's not that my dad wasn't buying me school clothes. He would buy me something, but he wasn't buying me the drip. He wasn't buying me the up to par stuff. And then eventually he came around. Eventually, but in the beginning, man, it was rough, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was rough, man. I didn't want to get clowned no more. So I said, hey, man, a couple of the homies went and said, hey, man, let's go to Mervin's. Mervin's was my spot. Let's go to Mervin's. Get us some clothes. I had some corduroy slacks I used to wear to school, man. I was lighting fires, man. I was lighting fires.
Oh man, you just made me think about something, bro.
But you know what though? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When I got to high school, I was the coolest thing moving and walking. I was larger than life. When I tell people I'm known in my city, everybody know my name. Okay.
Yeah.
When I got to high school, I got all that embarrassing stuff. Elementary school, junior high school, but when I got to high school, oh yeah, you best believe I was on point.
I know that's right.
You best believe it. And I was running laps around everybody because the things that my father taught me, and I can honestly admit that there was nobody on my level in high school at that time. That's why I say
that's going back to the basics.
Yeah, when young people listen to older people, they run faster amongst young people.
That's true.
When older people listen to young people, they run faster amongst older people.
You know what? What's interesting about that, I was just talking to my mother-in-law, my other, I call her mom too. Mom too. We were talking about that. Like I'm not getting advice from my peers. As growing up, I'm like, I don't. What I'm asking you, what am I listening to you for? You know as much as I do, and I probably know more than you. I'm speaking to older cousins, my mom, my parents. I'm not getting no game from somebody who's the same age as me. What do you know?
Yeah.
To your point about, getting information and getting, schooled, if you will, from, your elders, people are older who have more experience than you. And I think that's kind of lost on like
That's one thing my
generations.
dad told me. He said, man, don't ever disrespect your elders. Listen to older people when they speak. I don't care if they're a fool. He said, you can learn from a fool.
Right.
Listen.
Old fool, they call it.
Old fool can give you, an old fool can give you the game. I'm talking about the drunk one on the corner.
Right.
The one telling the truth down there.
The game. He may be a fool himself because he just wants to live in folly. But if you ask him about his life, I used to love those old mechanics. Those mechanics that be working on your car for a couple beers.
Yeah. the shade tree mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
They did have the best life stories. Absolutely.
Man, they can tell you some things while they working on you to buy them another beer.
Yeah.
They'll fix your carburetor. They'll fix anything you need. They go
with a screwdriver. Man.
Yeah. They take a whole transmission out with just a screwdriver and put a used one or a new one back in, and they're gonna take their time. It ain't gonna be quick. Don't try to think you're gonna get your car up and running. It's gonna be about a week. Yeah. But it's gonna be cheaper than taking it to the place, and you're gonna hear the stories, and they might even get you to get down there and work on the car with them. Oh man, come help me do this real quick. Hold this right here, man. I think I done fixed cars. Yeah. Messing around with these mechanics, man, I'll end up fixing my own car because they just telling me, you're not paying me for the labor, you paying me for what's up here. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna go. I gotta run my Saturday morning errands, but I appreciate this.
I gotta get up
this
out
little
of here
game.
too,
Thank you for coming by and visiting, spending some time with us.
Yes.
And before you leave, I just want to say, do not forget the new Black media, Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority, Tariq Nasheed,
Yep.
Phil Scott,
Yep.
Lisa Cabrera, Tori and Rain, Afro Elite. These brothers and sisters are out here rocking and keeping our movement.
Did you say Black Alpha
forward.
too?
I should have. Thank you for bringing him up, sister. Because listen, I'm trying to pay attention to my brothers and sisters who are out here, and I may miss some.
Oh yeah.
So please do not be afraid to add to my list. But just know that you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone.
That's it.
Yeah, appreciate that. Y'all be good, and I'll catch up with y'all on the next one.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, everybody. I'm dropping out too.
Yeah. All right, listen, I'm about to
You too, sweetie. Y'all take care now.
I'm about to get my day started, man. I appreciate everybody coming to the live, man. I think we chopped up some good stuff. I mean, sometimes it's good just to chop it up like this, man.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's a new community.
This is how you build community. This is how you build community. And everything I said, I mean what I say. If I'm in y'all town, or if y'all in my side of town, and I know y'all out here and y'all need something, if there's any way I can help anybody, I'm gonna do it. One thing, the way I was raised is when you run into good people, you treat good people better than you treat yourself, because good people don't often get treated good; they get taken advantage of. I'm not the brother that's going to take advantage of you. I'm the brother that's going to uplift you. That's going to, give you words of wisdom. Whatever I can do, even if it's money. I'm not rich, but whatever I can do, I'm going to try to do it because I want to be a true friend and I want to be a true brother to my community. So take me up on that. If y'all ever out in California, just hit me up. Let me know where y'all at, man. And I'll make sure y'all in the safe places. I'll make sure y'all doing the right thing. If y'all need anything, I'm here for you. I'm your brother. I am my brother's keeper. I'm your brother. We're all in this thing. This is lineage business. I'm 100% for the lineage. I don't even want to mess with nobody else outside of my lineage right now, because I feel like everything we got to do in a short amount of time needs to be done, and we gotta put some focus on it. So if I'm out in y'all city and I see and I bump into y'all or whatever, I'm a holler. I'm that brother that's gonna holler. So don't think if I'm not in Detroit, I'm not gonna run in. I'm not gonna be like, hey, cousin, where you at, brother? Where you at?
Put me down, Kansas City.
Don't think if I'm like
No,
Kansas.
we all over.
Don't think if I'm not out in New York, I ain't gonna call on BX or BK.
All right.
Don't think I'm not
That's
gonna
right.
do it because I got family in Harlem. Okay, I got family in Harlem, so
All right now.
don't think I'm not. Trust me on that. Don't think I'm not. Listen, I feel comfortable. I'm not afraid of nothing. I feel comfortable around my people. And if it's my time, it's my time. That's how I look at it. So I'm a mess with y'all in a real way. Let me say it like Aaron the plumber. In a real way, man. Brodusky.
Well, thank you. I
There you
definitely
go.
learned a lot. Thank you all for you guys gave me so much information. I was going in the wrong
Hey, I'm a
direction.
bump into Dr. No Job too. Hold on, man. I'm a bump into Dr. No Job. I'm a bump into that brother.
Yeah.
Well,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye
Everybody
bye.
have a
Y'all have a
good
good day,
day.
Y'all have
people.
a good one. Yep. Take care.